WESWES, y'all.
I see you at 9:30. I remember I went on this person's live and she was talking about men ain't shit. And she's saying that, she said, I'm a high valued woman and no men can handle me. And then she had a podcast and but her podcast was just a TikTok live and I hopped on and I said, why do you think you're a high valued woman? Yeah. And she said, oh, I'm a high valued woman because I got a degree in this. And then I said, okay, well, how much money do you have in your bank? And she goes, nothing. And I said, oh, so you're broke. You're just a girl with dreams and aspirations. And then I said, how old are you? And she's like 40. And I go, okay. And you think that you're some hot shit. And I go like this, compare yourself to Megan Fox. And because I go, who do you think is the hottest celebrity? She goes, Megan Fox. And I said, okay, where do you rank yourself? She goes, I rank myself a 10. And I said, where do you rank Megan Fox? She goes, a 10. And I said, you don't look like Megan Fox. You might look like a fox, but...
But not Megan Fox.
Yeah. So it was just pick up where we left. Up to you. What do you want to do?
Yeah, no, man, no, because it was good that it's kind of first time someone did this. Like, I'm gonna go come back because it made. Did you think about like what we were saying and what can we say?
Nah, man. When I left, I was just thinking about trying to get my missus home before she fucking gets in the silent treatment. Yeah, because like I said to you, so nothing is prepared, nothing is planned. This is just me speaking. You know, a lot of people when I say my stuff, they saying, "Oh, this is rehearsed, this is recited." I said, "No, it's not. It's just like what I say is what I mean." Yeah,
that's good, man. And it was something that was the basis of this podcast or the podcast that we do.
Yeah.
That it's always been a platform where you can speak your mind. And it doesn't matter. Because it's all about, because, you hear the talk about having a safe space.
Yeah.
And, Jordan Peterson doesn't agree with that. Because when you listen to that guy, he says, why is it a safe space when ideas ain't safe?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you want a safe space, then what, you're agreeing to everything?
That's it. And usually when podcasts have guests like myself or Jordan Peterson or Andrew Tate and that, they're not there to have a discussion. They're there to have a debate. That's what they do. Like they try to set traps and manipulate traps for you to, to make you stumble on what you say, and they try to test your theories. But nah, man, how is it a safe space when you're not giving us a safe environment?
Well, that's what they argue, the safe environment. Yeah. But yeah, I think that it doesn't mean I don't want ideas to be safe because ideas aren't safe. Because in the end of it, it's solving the problem, right? There's a problem that needs to be solved. You want to know all angles.
That's it.
And if an angle is not what you agree on, then it might. Let's analyze that. Let's talk about it and see where it goes.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. And I feel like so many people, they got one way of thinking. And there has to come a point where we have to go back to what brought us here as a civilization, what has brought us here as a people. It was through traditional roles. So there's that old saying, what is not broke, don't fix it. Why are people trying to fix it? They're trying to diversify everything. They're trying to say that you can identify yourself as a horse. You can identify yourself as a penguin. This world is so scary now. It's getting really freaky to the point where people are trying to protest to say pedophilia is actually a sexual orientation and it's not a criminal act. I
heard about that. I heard they're going to change the name around.
Yeah.
They weren't going to call it pedophile anymore. They were going to call it something else. Like, because everybody identifies as a pedophile as, someone that, with kids and that. But they're going to change that name around just to be more softer.
But that's fucked up, eh? Like, I don't know what sort of excuse you would put on, but if you're a fucking 40-year-old man or even a full-grown man and you fantasize over a 6-month-year-old infant, you need to be hung. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a sexual orientation. You need to be locked up somewhere.
But it's the acting out on it.
Yeah, but still having the thought, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, but no one knows. It's just a thought. But there are people that need help, that are sick. But it's like a cycle, that kind of thing. If you're abused when you're young, then there's a high chance that you're gonna be that person when you're older. Yeah. So it's all about stopping the cycle.
Yeah.
These kind of things.
Yeah, like they said, if you're an alcoholic, there's a big chance that your dad was an alcoholic. If you're a bully, there's a big chance you're getting bullied. But people got to stop blaming their background for the reason why they are today. That's why I'm sick of star signs. I hate star sign shit. You ever sit down with a fucking girl and they're like, "What's your star sign?" I thought I could tell. Like, the fuck?
I'm not superstitious.
You know what I mean?
I ignore that kind of
Like,
stuff.
you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I knew you're an Aries. I could tell you're a Libra. Like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, I think at the end of the day, you can change whatever you go through, and it's literally going against the law of polarity. So the law is just is. It's defiant. You cannot change the law of the universe. And one of the law of the universe is the law of polarity, which is the law of opposites. Which means if you're sad, you can also be angry. You can also be happy. If you're fat, you're skinny. If there's a positive, there's a negative. But we're living in a world now where people think that once you're in a particular situation, that's it. You're done.
And you can create an identity about it.
That's it. Like, once you're like, I'm sick
Where's
of-
my rights for being this way?
Honestly, I hate hearing people going like this. Man, I'm so depressed. I hate it. And then you say, well, you can be happy. And then they're like, nah, man, I just don't have the choice. It's like you're a fucking waste of a human being. We are the highest form of creatures in this whole entire world, the most intelligent species. That's why we're on top of the food chain, because we have the ability to choose.
But you're speaking to people that probably don't know how to get out of where they're at. Like if someone's depressed and in a rut, like, and they don't even know how to get out of it.
Well, the thing is this, right? If you ask someone right now, why are you depressed? They will tell you why they're depressed, right? Like one person, why are you depressed? Oh, because I got no job. Okay, well then you're not depressed. You're just fucking lazy.
Get a job.
Get a job. Well, I'm depressed because I don't have somebody to love me. I don't have anyone to love. Yeah, well, I don't blame them when you look like a fucking ugly... Like, you know what I mean? If you're dirty and smelly and unhygienic, you can't complain why females ain't flocking around you. You know what I mean? There has to come a point where you say, man, I got to... Like, if I crash my car once, I can blame whether... I could debate whether it was my fault or the person that crashed their car into me. But if I crash my car over and over and over and over again, there has to come a point where I say, it's not the car's fault no more. It's my fucking driving. Because out of all those cars, I'm the common denominator. And I think a lot of people do that shit. Like, people would say, we are all the real men. We are all the real men. They're all men are the same. And then you ask them, okay, well, how many boyfriends have you had? I've had 20. And then you're like, so you've had 20 boyfriends. And you're blaming the guys. The common denominator out of all those 20 guys is you. There has to come a point that maybe it's not the guy, maybe it's you. And I always say to people, it's about being the example. If you are depressed, right? If you want to attract love into your life, you got to be love first.
The problem with, I get what you're saying. The problem with it is that a lot of people are different. People have different circumstances, but I get the end result. What you're saying. What you're saying is that that there is a chance for you to get out. Yeah. The problem is they don't know how to.
Well, they do. They just don't choose to do it. Everybody knows if you're fat, you know you need to lose weight.
Oh, that's the obvious one.
You know what I mean? You know how many people go like this? Oh man, so what do you eat? What do you like? What do you eat? Like what's your diet routine? I've always tried to lose weight. What's your diet routine? And I'm like, why do you want to know my diet routine? You already know what it is. Calorie deficit. Eat less, move more. Maybe if you stop picking up that Mars bar or that Kit Kat, like that Kit Kat or that Crunchy bar. Maybe if you stop going to KFC and collecting those stupid Monopoly stickers from McDonald's to get yourself a free meal. Everybody knows the basics. You're fat, which means you got to stop eating, eat less, and move more. Everybody knows the basics. Well, I'm unemployed. Well, then go and look for a job. Go to work and income.
There's also poor people too that can't afford the healthy foods.
Well, but the poor people are the most happiest people. Dude, it's funny, right? When I was watching a YouTube video about Los Angeles and California, and everybody was depressed. And then you watch a video in the Congo in Africa, and everybody's dancing, happy and laughing. So some people are so poor that the only thing they have is money. So it's perspective.
It's environment. That's a different environment.
It's perspective, because we see everything. the thing is, we don't see things for what they are. We see things for what we think they are. Does that make sense? So, for example, I can look at this and say it's a car.
It's not. It's a glass of water.
I can look at that and say that's a car, right?
They don't say, nah, it's a glass of water.
But if 100 people looked at that and said it's a glass of water, then it's a glass of water. So majority always rules. So at the end of the day, it's how you perceive things. I could look at the ocean and be like, oh, look at that. That's a nice blanket from God. And then somebody could look at that and be like, no, it's a fucking ocean. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to your perception. How you perceive life is how you're going to receive life. In life, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are.
I still think people don't understand that. But the people that in the rat can't get out because they don't understand.
I'll tell you this:
how to articulate it.
They do. They do understand. Also, they do. It's just that some people react upon it, and some people just sit upon it.
Well, there's people that think they can't make it out, and they just settle for it.
But they know what to do, right? But they don't believe that they can do it.
But do you believe that sometimes the system is against them?
Yeah, obviously the whole
makes
system
it harder.
Yeah, the system is always against everybody, but everybody knows what to do.
Try to get out of it.
Everybody knows what to do. It's just that some people just keep thinking about it. Like, for example, the more you know, the slower you go. The more you apply, the higher you fly. I'll tell you right now, all those people that overthink everything? You fucking put them on top of a roof. You put them on a roof. Everybody on the roof. You put them all on the roof, and the house is burning. Let's just say the house is burning. All those people that like to overthink, I don't know how to do this. Let's burn the whole house down. And then a helicopter comes on top, and it throws down a rope. You think those people are going to overthink? Or are they just going to grab the rope? Exactly. Because they know what to do. And that's what people do. They know what to do. They say, the thing is this, I always say, don't focus on what you're doing. Focus on how you're going to get it. Because a lot of people say, oh man, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Just focus on, you will get it. Look, if I told you right now, you have to have $50,000 by the end of next year, right? Or I ask someone, they'll probably say, I can't get $50,000 next year. If I told you to get $1 million next year, you'd be like, what the fuck? By the end of next year, going on to 2024, I want you to have $1 million. What would your initial response be?
Right now, I would say it's not impossible.
Yeah, not impossible. But to an average person, right, they would be like this. Oh, fuck, that's
impossible.
Impossible. But then you say this to them, right? Then you say this to them. Who's the person you love the most? My children. If they had a surgery that needed $50,000 to perform the surgery, or so they fucking die, they're gone.
There's an incentive right there.
So, can you make $50,000 now? Yes. What happened?
Yeah.
What? That's what I'm saying. So they say they don't know how to do it, but you do know how to do it, because now their mind is off the how do I do this? Their mind is now focused on I need to get it. It's like, for example, like a lady, she says, I can't run up. Like, let's say there's a hill, and she's like, I can't run up this hill, up and down. I'm too tired. And then you say, well, let's say that your kids are up there dying, and you had to run down and get every single kid, bring them down. Would you be able to do it? Yes, I can. Yeah. That's why I'm saying there's huge potential. There's been video clips of a car that's run over a daughter, and then the mum sees her and she screams and lifts the car off the daughter. There's a huge potential within you, but people just don't believe it. They don't believe in themselves. And you know what it is? I think in the Polynesian culture, and the reason why is because this Polynesian culture, they keep preaching humility as fucking useless. Have you ever met those islanders where they're like, glory to God, give all to glory to God, and then you're like, oh, you're a good singer. Nah, I sucked you. Nah,
yeah,
not good.
yeah.
Oh, you're good at artists. Nah, man.
They didn't say that's the result of tall poppy syndrome when they do that.
Yeah, and you know what it is though? I feel like this, right? That's the reason why our Polynesian culture is held back. It's not successful, because we preach humbleness as defeat. If somebody says, "Oh, Sole, thank you for the feed," no, glory to God. Sole, you're a good singer. No, not me, God. So if you got a good voice, nah, gee, fuck, I suck God, bro, God. You know what I mean? And that's what's holding us back. You see, David Torres, Parkerman, first of all, give us glory to God. We got to preach. You're the man.
Like the Americans do.
You're awesome. You're fantastic. People say, well, Jesus, we got to give. We got to give. Okay, but you give without complaining. These islanders, they give and they give and they give and then end up going like this. Oh, she's asking for money. But what happened to her money? She's got all these kids. Oh, what happened to you being like Jesus? You know what I mean? The only reason why Jesus could give is because Jesus had a lot to give. Jesus had a lot to give. But these guys are trying to pour out of an empty vessel. Going to G-Money Finance, cash converters, dollar dealers. Every single loan company. That's why I'm just saying, I feel like we need to change the language in our culture. Would you agree?
I feel like you on a platform like TikTok and preaching the stuff, like the way you're doing it, I think it's something that needs to be out there because it's a different take on how to get out of shit.
That's correct. And that's the reason why the Islander community came for me hard when I started preaching.
Because they never heard anything like that before.
Yeah, because an Islander doesn't behave in that way. I'll tell you this, if a white guy was screaming, get the fuck out of your feelings, would have it went toxic just like how the Islanders came? No, it wouldn't, because that's normal.
That's normal to them. Yeah.
But when they hear an Islander who's confident, loud, and proud, and he's just swearing, say, get the fuck out of your feelings, they're like, oh, that's not Islander. You're supposed to be humble. You're supposed to be talking about God. But see, this also shows the dramatic side of the Polynesians, because once upon a time I was preaching about God, love and peace and harmony, and no swearing and no yelling.
So what changed?
Nobody gave a fuck. You see what I mean?
Status quo.
Isn't it amazing how nobody stitched all my positive videos?
See, I've never seen any because I only seen
exactly. But it proves my point, right? So I speak all this positive messages and love and lights with no swearing and all of that, and nobody cares. Nobody stitched it and said, you know what, you did a good job. But as soon as I start saying, fuck you, hey, look, I reckon you should change your delivery. I reckon you should, okay, so you only stitched the negative, but you don't stitch the positive. So it's not really about the video then.
You should listen to our episode, MTL Clip, because we talked about you with me and my mates. And my friend Avi, who's on it, I asked him, like, you saw the video of Stephen, what did you get out of it? What was your take on it? And he had an interesting take. Because he's into training, because he's a big guy, but he's trying to lose weight, so he's going training. He's getting up and doing that shit. And what he said, he said, man, he's like that voice in your head that tells you to get up, go gym, 5 a.m., get up and go. And I was thought, oh, true. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
But it was cool that that's how he took your messages.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, not like, oh, what an asshole. He's talking about shit like.
That's
but
it.
he can't say that shit. Nah, he took it like, man, he's like that thing in your head when, I got to go up at gym at 4 a.m. And the alarm goes. And you just press snooze because you want to sleep in.
Yeah.
But nah, your voice comes in the head.
Exactly.
Get up, get your ass up, go gym. And he goes.
That's it, because I just filter throughout the bullshit. I just filter the bullshit. I just get straight to the point. Like, I just get straight to the point. It's like, okay, yeah, you're the man, you're awesome. Anyways, get the fuck out of bed. Do what you're supposed to do. Feelings, don't ever base your life on feelings. Leave the feelings to the girls. You're a fucking man.
But see, that feelings thing, what I was explaining before, is not the way they want to go about to tackle mental health. Because if you see mainstream media, it's all about getting in touch with your feelings.
And that's the reason why we're failing as an economy.
Well, see, for me personally, I'm not that guy, because I've never been depressed my whole life. I'm not that kind of guy. And for me, see, I never had older brothers to say harden up, because I just lived like, I'm just here, doing what I do. And I never had any problems with anything. So I don't understand the depression thing. And, I don't want to speak on it because I don't understand it. I don't speak on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I made a video then I said depression is not real.
See, that's kind of...
And people got mad at me.
Oh, nah, no kidding.
Because the thing is, it's not real. It's not.
Isn't that like a medical thing too?
There's only two. Do you know there's only two emotions, right? Which is happy and sad. There's only two emotions. Yeah. Everything is just subheadings. So in happy, it's joy, enthusiastic, love, light, all of this shit. And negative is fucking anxiety, depression, sad, worried. There's only 2 sets of emotions. Negative emotion and positive emotion. Everything are just subheadings, subtitles. That's what it is. So when somebody says, I'm depressed, it's not real. You can feel depressed. Yeah, granted, you could go to the doctor and they can clinically diagnose you with depression. And then people say, yeah, but it's a chemical imbalance. Yeah, well, ask yourself, how did that chemical imbalance come into place? Were you born depressed? No, I wasn't. Okay, so why did you end up depressed? My wife left me. Okay, so that's why you're depressed. So if you had your wife, you wouldn't be depressed. Yes. Also, it's not real then. Yeah, but I feel depressed. Yeah, but you said that you're only depressed because your wife is here. So that means if your wife was there, you wouldn't be depressed. Is that correct? Yeah, so you're not depressed. You're just sad.
But people don't understand it.
They do understand it, but they just don't want to believe it because they're fucking useless.
But how do you know though? See?
No, because the thing is, I've been there. I've been depressed. I've cried over some bitch. I've fucking texted and begged and pleaded the fifth and fucking, went to the house and tried to knock on the door and say, look, I'm sorry.
So for you, see, you just said depression's not real, but then you say you were depressed.
I believe you can feel depressed, but I don't believe depression is real.
Because you overcame it?
No, because it's a choice. To
overcome it or not?
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a decision.
So what happened for you, like your personal experience?
And I just went through depression. The thing is this, here's the problem. When you're in depression, you don't know you're in depression. That's the scary thing, right? It's because you feel like there's no escape. But then when you actually sit down and ask yourself why you're depressed, that's when your solution comes. Right? And not many people ask themselves why they're depressed. When people are sad, they don't self-reflect because they don't like to be in their own misery. What do people do when they're sad? Oh, let's go out to the nightclubs. Let's drink. Let's smoke some weed. Fuck another bitch to get over that girl. Best way to get over a girl is to get under one. You know what I mean? All people do, they don't like to stay in their misery. But sometimes you just got to stay in your misery, have a moment of self-reflection and say, why am I depressed? And then you know what? The answer is going to show. You're depressed because your girlfriend left you. So how do I get a girlfriend? Ha! The journey starts.
So is that what happened to you?
That's how it happened to me. I remember I was crying over this girl, crying, being a little bitch. And then one day I said, why do I need her in my life? I literally asked, I said, okay, why do I need her in my life? And then I said, and why is she my source of happiness? And then all of a sudden I had a brain fart. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Why am I doing this? And it's only by self-reflection you can remove yourself and see yourself as a third party. Because a lot of the times, I was reading this book about Eckhart Tolle. He speaks about the mind, and he was going to commit suicide. And the night that he was going to commit suicide, he goes like this, I cannot live with myself. And then he asked himself this question, who is myself? Because he said, I can't live with myself. So that means there's 2 beings. And a lot of times there are 2 beings. You need to ask yourself and say, okay, well, I'm sad. I want you to look at your problems. So your problems are here. I want you to imagine yourself as a lighthouse with the light shining on your problems. You're like, okay, now I'm in the present. I feel the emotion of sadness, but now I'm looking at the emotion of sadness. I don't identify as sadness. I recognize sadness. And sadness is not attached to me, but it's over there. I see sadness. And then you go like this, okay, well, I see the sadness. I also see happiness.
Yeah.
So which one do I choose? I choose this one. But no people do self-reflection. If you could step out of I always say this, if you could step out of your body and look at yourself, you would literally be like, fuck. Just be happy, bro. Come on. It literally is that simple. It's not going to be easy, but it is simple.
And that reflection that you felt, like that, seems like that was the turning point in your life. Because now, what you're preaching about now, you're really passionate about it.
Well, yeah, I'm passionate.
Because you came out of it.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a video that's circulating around the TikTok algorithm now of where I was begging this girl to have a conversation. So me and my ex, we broke up. And then basically I was trying to talk to her. I was trying to speak to her about, our relationship, and she kept on kicking me out of the room. And I was like, let's talk. And everybody was like, what a hypocrite. What a hypocrite, telling people to get out of their feelings. And I was like, that video is 4 years old. And then I said, and me going through that should inspire you a lot more, because I'll rather get advice from somebody that it's been through it. Would you rather get advice from a millionaire who was born into riches, or a person who came from the slums with absolutely nothing and became rich? You'd rather listen to the guy that came from nothing, right? So would you rather listen to somebody who went through depression, almost committed suicide, and now he's telling people to get the fuck out of your feelings, or somebody who's never been in a relationship ever telling people to get the fuck out of their feelings? There has to be a level of realness. People just, so I always say everything I say is from experience. I just speak what I go through, man.
When when they talk about how to live, like they talk about people that are depressed, right? And a way to get around that is to have meaning in your life, like some meaning. Yeah. Is it like that reflection you had? And because I'd rather you being here preaching than being dead.
Yeah.
That's the result right now.
Yeah. But I always say everybody has purpose in their life.
Yeah. So would you say that coming out of your depression and being alive, sort of?
No, I just think it's because I'm gifted at it.
Gifted at?
At talking. I think I'm an amazing talker.
Yeah. But where it comes from in your heart.
And I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. And people got to stop following their passions. Don't follow your passions, because you can follow your passions and it's not meant for you. That's why you watch those America's Got Talent and those people that go there and they go, I'm going to be the next America's Got Talent. And then they said, how long you been singing? Oh, I've been singing from the day I was born. I'm passionate. And then they sing, it's like,
or at least find out what your passion really is.
No, but the thing is this, the Bible says your gift will make room for you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say your passion will make room for you. It says your gift. What are you gifted at? You might not be gifted at basketball. You might not be gifted at singing, but you might be gifted at folding clothes. Then fold clothes. Because you might fold clothes so much to the point you own your own laundromat. If you're not gifted in fucking, doing YouTube video clips, maybe you're good at cooking. You might be gifted in cutting hair. So your gift will make room for you, not your passion.
So you're saying a gift is what you're born with?
Yeah.
Some kind of gift?
Yeah, and you know your gift because you usually know what you're good at. If somebody keeps telling you, man, Sully, you're a really good fighter, man. You're a really good fighter. And you've knocked out 3 to 4 fights. You've never lost a fight. There comes a point when you're like, yeah, fuck, I'm actually good at fighting. You know what I mean? There comes a point where you know what you're gifted at. So, like, for me, people always say, Stephen, you're really good at motivating people. Or they will say, Stephen, you're a really good talker. You're really good at expressing yourself. You've got a really good intellect. So I said, okay, well, I'm good at talking.
Yeah.
So I just focused on what I'm good at and amplified it.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know how I was talking about how, like, the way you do it conflicts with how, mainstream is doing it. Like, how do we navigate that? How do we solve that problem? How do we? Are you introducing a new way of getting out of depression where people think it's wrong, but
sorry, the mic cut out. Sorry.
No, it's still going. It's just the headphone.
Okay. What were you saying, brother?
Like, your content, right? Mm. Your content goes against what mainstream does, but you have the same goal.
Yeah.
Right. Mainstream has the goal of trying to get people out of depression.
Yeah.
Bring down mental health issues.
Yeah.
You have the same goal, but you're going the opposite way what mainstream is going.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the same way, right? So how do we? And I think because people are so triggered with what you say, because no one's heard anything from a Polynesian like you before, or someone like that, right? Because you're going against the grain.
Exactly. And I think a lot of Polynesian, they don't really think to this level. And I say this respectfully. And the reason why is because a lot of Polynesians really don't do personal development. They don't really watch people like, Anthony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, or Jim Rohn. They don't really watch these sort of people. Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, all these amazing people. They don't really watch them. I can guarantee you right now, you go to Aotearoa right now and you say to them, you know who Anthony Robbins is? They'll be like, oh, I have no clue. You know what I mean? So when somebody, and I've noticed that in the Polynesian culture, as soon as somebody starts saying words that they don't know, they go, oh, big words. Big words.
Yeah.
Oh, big words of stop trying to be fear palangi immediate.
Well, that's a form of tall poppy syndrome, right?
Yeah, but isn't it amazing that they already identify the white man as smart and the brown man dumb? They say, oh, you're trying to be fear palangi. So fear palangi is whenever you try to talk smart, which means then the opposite is if you're dumb. Like, it's stupid. It's like the fact that they have come to the point where they think that islanders are not smart, but they are. And that's why when I sort of speak this sort of language, only people that watch podcasts and people that actually watch people that speak what I speak, then they're like, nah, this guy's got a lot of truth to it. But it's like trying to speak to uneducated. Some people are going to be bad at people saying this shit. But like speaking to like people that don't understand. Look, at the end of the day, I love my Polynesian people. They're amazing people. They're awesome people. They're loving. But I think we got to start realizing that we are more than just rugby players. We are more than just laborers. We can also make a way through our talking and through our mind. Not like, you know what I mean? Everybody thinks when you're an islander, all you can do is pack boxes and, you know, all that shit. But we're more than that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we are. We just need to tap into these new things. You know?
Exactly.
Like I know IT is a big one. IT is a big industry that needs more brown faces, and you know we are trying to get there. We got people in higher learning in Auckland Uni, like up there in the top positions up in Auckland Uni. We got some Samoans there. We got you know, but we just need these. Like, it's all about the financial stuff, the financial literacy. We need to get into these industries, right?
And it's the culture. And I've noticed this as well, that islanders who do understand the stuff that I'm speaking, you can just tell by the tone that they speak, by their language is so fluent in terms of English, the way that they even dress and their appearance is different. And that's what you would consider a whiaparangi or an afakasi or whatever. But, you know, you'll talk to some islanders and they'll be like, nah, gee, yeah, that one, yeah, nah, that other one, yeah, that other guy. But it's so funny because you can really differentiate a Palangi Samoan and a Samoan. You know what I mean? It's sort of like African Americans can differentiate the hood. Man, what's up, man? Y'all already know. And then they can differentiate the Tyler Perrys and, you know, the smart. So it's exactly the same way. And I think a lot of our Polynesian culture is so involved into just urban music and everything like that. I didn't think personal development is really spoken along those sides. So I think they need a person like me to come in there and start speaking it.
Yeah. That's not at the universities.
Yeah, and it's not at the universities. And I think people got to understand that my best intention is to change you. If you eliminate the delivery, if you eliminate the yelling, you would see the intention, and the intention is pure love. The intention is I want you to do better. The intention is I want you to chase your dreams. Your assignment is too important. Your destiny is too valuable in order for you to be distracted. And if people could just remove and filter all the noise, they would realize it's just a brown brother trying to help you. But not many people can do that. It takes a very intelligent and a strong emotional person to do that.
I think you're strong because, you know, we talked about tall poppy syndrome stuff. We talked about how our people react to what we say. Sometimes when we get too big for what we do, they tend to bring us down again, That's and we believe it. You know, we believe it too.
Yeah.
Like how you said, like, yeah, maybe I'm not as good. You know?
Yeah.
Too humble, you know. And we need to break out of that thinking because we're not going anywhere with the status quo, right?
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Definitely. And that's why I always say to all the brown people, I say this all the time, if you go into a work meeting and you're the only brown person inside that work boardroom, you deserve to be there. Don't ever think that you're inferior. Because I know some brown people that will go in and it's all Palangis and they're sitting there going like, what the fuck am I? You know what I do whenever I enter a room and I'm the only brown person there? Tole. Oh, I make sure they remember me, bro. And when they go, who's got any ideas? I think the idea is this. I think if we break it down, and all the Palangis like, who's this amazing man? And I'm like, yeah, I am amazing. But see, the thing about me is I would say the first change, the first step to change is change your language. be careful with what you say. The most sick people in the world talks about sickness. The most poor people in the world talk about poverty a lot. So listen to what you're saying, because a lot of times we're complaining. Oh man, I'm dumb. I'm stupid. Oh man, I'm so broke. I hate paying bills. Man, money just comes and goes. So many falavilavis. I have to do this and that. Change your language, man. You ask someone right now, name 5 things that you like about yourself. Then you say, name 10 things you hate about yourself. Yeah, I hate that. I hate this. I hate that. I hate this. And people got to get out of that feeling where, like, you can call yourself good, man. Like I said to myself, I'm one sexy motherfucker. Like, I'm gorgeous. I'm handsome. I'm smart. And that's sort of the self-love you want. And I didn't say it in a braggadocious way. I didn't say it in a conceited way. I say it in a way because I believe it. You know what I mean? Because we have to get out of being our worst enemy and start being our best friend, because you have to be your biggest fan. Who else is going to be a fan? No one else is going to be it. You came into this world by yourself. You got to leave as yourself. So you got to be your biggest fan.
I'm always like thinking about how to, like, my own personal self, right?
Yeah.
Even when starting this podcast, it was always anxiety about getting it out there and seeing what people think, right?
Yeah.
And there's always that barrier. But
Yeah.
it's a barrier that, man, we can't just have this barrier, man. We can't have any barriers.
Exactly.
You know, and like to hear you not have any barriers, it's refreshing, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're a guy that say stuff that are gonna trigger people, gonna make people react.
Yeah.
Man, thousands of people react to what you say.
Yeah.
But you don't give a fuck. You just say it again.
Because at the end of the day, right, I always say this: if failure wasn't an option, how big would you dream? If failure wasn't an option, how big would you dream? The only reason why people don't want to take the risk because they think the failure is bigger than their dream. You know, the Bible says, without vision, you will perish. What is your vision? Is your vision having a fufu every single night over Pornhub? Is your vision always getting distracted on TikTok? Or is your vision on prosperity, love, abundance? What's your vision? And people say, oh, I don't have to focus like you do. Yeah, but you're focused enough to clock GTA on PlayStation 5. So you do have to focus. It's just that it's aimed at the wrong destination. So you do have it. So whenever I hear people say they don't have what I have, I'm like, yes, you do. You do have it. You just choose not to do it.
And that's where the choice comes in again.
If I told somebody right now to get $50,000 by the end of next year, or else I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. You're going to find every which way to get
exactly. Whether it's legal or illegal, you're going to find a way, right? Because it's the sense of urgency. And you know why? It's because everybody's too comfortable. And comfortability is the biggest devil of all dreams. It comes and robs you, man. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. And what's the opposite of growing? Disintegrating. So if you're not going one way, if you're going the opposite way by law, it means you're not going the other way. So if you're not growing, then what's the opposite of growing? Dying. You're dying. So the thing is, you got to always grow. You got to always reach out. You got to always stretch. You got to always think bigger. Because if you're not going in one direction by law, you are going the other direction. So if you're fat, you're dying. Like you're getting a disease, because by law you're not going healthy. And also, action removes doubt. Doubt only exists because you haven't done any action. It's like telling somebody to stand on the scale. Nah, because I know I've gained weight. Obviously, because you did no action. But if, let's say, you've been training every day, you've been eating little, and you've been exercising, and then I say stand on the scale, you'll be confident. You'll be like, ready. Because action removes doubt. So whenever you have doubt, just fucking action. And what I've also realized is what people think about you and say about you is none of your business. What matters is what you think and say about yourself. As long as your internal dialogue is positive, everything else is just noise. That's the reason why I say what I want and I speak what I want. Because if they got a problem with it, then fuck, I sleep at night happy. They sleep at night with a problem. Like,
it seems like everyone that comments on your TikTok are the ones that disagree with you. the followers that do agree with you, have you made contact with them? Have they
Yeah, of course.
sent you
Yeah, definitely.
messages?
Yeah, the thing is, I got more positive followers than negative, but it's just that the minority speaks the loudest, right? It's just like everybody remembers the negative comments more than the positive. It's like everybody remembers the negative emotion than the positive emotion. You come out of a movie and it's good, you're not going to really remember the movie. But if you come out and you're like, fuck, I wasted my money, this was shit, you're going to tell more people that the movie was shit than it was positive. It's because human beings go by what they feel, and usually what they feel is what they like to speak about. So the negative comments always speak the loudest. So I just focus on the positive comments, man. Negative comments never get to me. It's just noise.
Are you the type that takes the negative comments into like a fuel for the fire?
I guess what it is like, yeah, that's true. I don't block people, and the reason why I don't block people is because I want them to see me shine. Like if I block you, then you can't see me win. Fuck that. I want you to be in pain while you're seeing me succeed, motherfucker. Like
I saw one of your TikToks. You said that your last account got
that's correct.
taken away.
That's it. It got restricted.
So what happened there?
So over 55,000 followers. I think it's just because, man, like I said, I'm preaching things that people don't want to hear.
Oh, someone cancelled you then?
So people just sending reports.
Oh,
that's it. Just spam reports. That's what it is, bro. But look, at the end of the day, it doesn't like. Guess what? I still got a car. I still got a house. I still got my partner. I still got my family. I still got oxygen in my body. What is there to be depressed about? Like, it's just fucking TikTok.
Well, when I had a question for you, like, well, where does this guy get his energy from? You know, and like, this was before I knew you were like a battle rapper. The one out stuff. But you did that quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So you still doing that now?
Nah. But
you haven't been done it for a while.
Nah, not battle rap. But to answer the question, where does my energy come from, man? It's because you choose to be happy. You choose plus, your emotion.
You do. But man, when I saw your old videos, man, that's the same energy I see on your TikToks, man. How you go at those other, because that's the thing, that culture, that battle rap culture thing.
Exactly.
Like it's hard out. Like you're feeding each other.
Yeah.
But that's part of the whole.
Yeah, and life is a gift, man. We don't know when we're gonna die. We're not guaranteed 10 minutes from now. We're not even guaranteed 10 seconds from now. We could walk out of the store and drop dead. Everybody's guaranteed a bad day, whether you're gonna die or somebody you love is gonna die. That's a guarantee. Everybody's got a bad day coming. It's either you're going to die or somebody you love's going to die. Then why fucking be sad over a car that cut you? Or a negative comment? Like, your life is short, bro. The older you get, the faster your life becomes. It's a gift. So every single day I see it as a gift. I treat my day. That's why I said to you, I'm willing to come. Remember when you said, you go, oh, would you be willing to Thursday? I said, let's do it straight away. Because I might not be here on Thursday. You might not be here on Thursday.
Yeah, that's another.
Live in the moment.
That was another thing I thought about when one of my good friends passed away. That I used to do the podcast with. Early in February. Because when he passed away, it was a sad day. It was, I'm sad, but the podcast still goes. It still has to go.
That's it.
But what? For me, it's like if I was worried about people what they thought, if that held me back in a way. Well, my friend just passed away. Like,
that's it.
That just told me I might pass away. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
And what am I going to leave behind?
Exactly.
So I shouldn't care.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, these guys don't give a fuck about you. So why you give a fuck about them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, live your life. Because I'll tell you this, man, death comes knocking. And when it comes knocking, it comes at any time. So if everybody knew that this was their last day on earth, you think they'll be depressed over some bitch leaving them? You think they'll be depressed about their weight? No, they'll choose to be happy because they know it's their last day. So just live in the moment. Let tomorrow worry about tomorrow. Let the past worry about the past. Live in the moment. Because the future is eventually going to become the present. Oh, I'm thinking about the future. Yeah, well, that future's eventually going to become the present. And then you're going to think of another future. How many futures do you want to keep thinking about? The future is now. Now is forever. Forever is now. Live in the now. And that's why I guess ignorance is bliss, because I'm the most ignorant person in the world. That's why hate never gets to me, because I'm just so ignorant. I think everybody loves me, and I choose to believe that everybody loves me. I believe that I don't have haters. And even though there are haters, I just believe I don't have it because ignorance is bliss. I'm just going to keep telling myself that everybody loves me and just continue with my day, because what's any good if I tell myself everybody hates me? What's gonna do? Is it gonna contribute to my life? You know what I mean? So sometimes you just gotta lie to yourself and just say, man, everybody loves me. There's a study that says the more you keep telling yourself a lie, the more you believe it. So that's why the saying "fake it till you make it" comes from. So just if you're poor, just keep saying you're rich. I'm rich. Eventually, you're gonna believe it.
Mm. So, when you do your posts, where does these ideas come from? Like, what you pick a topic to talk about every post, but where do they come from?
I think I just like to. I think it just comes down from. You see, the thing about me is I speak on things that people think that you should never really speak on. So, like I was talking about, pull your tights down from your stomach.
Yeah.
Because I think evidently everybody knows that people that are fat and overweight, they pull their tights over their stomach. And I think everybody knows that. Like, you'll see somebody saying loud and proud, fat body lives matter, and yet their stomach is in their tights. I'm saying, oh, if you really want to support fat lives matter, pull those tights underneath your muffin flaps. That's a real supporting of. And I think everybody knows that, but everybody's too scared to talk about it. They're like, so I talk about things that people don't consider taboo.
Mm. So how do you know this? Like, how do you know?
Because I've been around certain people that says, man,
that just talk.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, a lot of things that I say and a lot of these opinions are what being said. It's locker room talk.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the boys, drinking. And then you're like, see that girl, man? See that man over there? It's just normal talking. But if you're a well-known person, they put you on a higher echelon, and now you're living through a glass house. So everything you say will be held against you. So I could say, I could say like a racist comment, right? Hypothetically, I could say, oh, you curry muncher, right? And then everybody be like, oh, you are a racist. And then I'll be like, but I'm pretty sure you said that in high school. But it's just because I have a lot of followers and I'm online and people know me. That's why celebrities get more crucified when they say something. But then you're like, bro, you say it too. But you say it when you're with the boys on the person net.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's what happens. Because mainstream media has all the sponsors, and Vodafone's gonna give millions of dollars to these platforms.
Yeah.
They're gonna not give them millions of dollars if they don't agree with.
Yeah.
If someone says something they don't agree with. Yeah.
And to be honest, everybody's racist in a way. Everybody has said a racist joke. Come on, man. You'll be lying if you haven't. Everybody has said something racist to the boys or to their mates or said it to their wife. Like, hey, babe, you want to hear a joke? They said a racist. Everybody says it, but would you say it online? No, you won't.
Yeah, but sometimes we joke around with
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would you say it online, though? No, you won't. Oh, okay. But if somebody says it online, they're now a racist, right? But you're not. Yeah, I'm not.
Well, a stand-up comedian can get away with it.
Yeah, but now even comedy's getting censored now. Dave Chappelle went against the LGBT community and they wanted to cancel him.
Dave Chappelle should be the hero out of all the comedians. He's the one that's standing up against the cancel culture and all that kind of stuff.
I just say this, man. If you can handle a dick in your asshole, I'm pretty sure you can handle a joke. Like,
but people don't see it that way.
Like, it's comedy. It's a joke. Words only hurt if you believe it. I always say that, man. It only hurts if you believe it. If I call you an idiot, you're not an idiot because I called you an idiot. You're an idiot because you believed it. So if you go to a place and somebody said a joke, somebody could say the most heinous Samoan joke, but if it's funny, I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Because I know it's got no relation to me. Like, it wasn't personal. It was just the joke. Like, obviously, there are some other jokes where it's a little bit too full on. Did you hear about that joke about the Christchurch mosque shooter?
No, that guy. That joke.
Bro,
what was it?
Hey, you better not laugh because this is going on the thing. But
I understand. There's gonna be a joke.
Yeah. But he said a joke.
Who's it from? From a
Kiwi comedian.
A Balangi racist dude.
Yeah, a Balangi racist dude. And I thought the joke was stupid.
Oh, did he get?
And bad. So
I think I saw that. Did he get cancelled?
Yeah, well, they tried to cancel him because he said the worst thing about that night wasn't the Christchurch shooting. You know what he said? What was the worst thing about that night?
What?
Is that there were no Uber drivers in the city.
Yeah. See, that's
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
taste.
That's a. Why are you laughing, man? That's a little bit overboard.
Well, that's kind of bad taste.
Yeah, yeah. That's a little bit overboard. Eh? See, that's what I'm saying. Like those stuff are stupid. That stuff is stupid. But anyways, what's the next subject that we're gonna?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm glad we can talk long form, and I'm glad that people, because TikTok's only what, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and
I've got a question for you. Sorry, also to cut you
yeah.
off before I lose this train of thought. Have you ever had a guest on your podcast and they don't know how to talk? They don't know how to flow a conversation,
Yes.
and then.
Yes, I have. I'm not gonna name them, but
And
yes, I have.
then they would answer a question and they just sit there like this, and you're the one that's always initiating questions.
Well, not that to that extent,
Yeah,
but I've had less of engagement.
Yeah.
Like I can line up all the guests we've had here,
Yeah.
right? And I can pick the least
yeah.
talkative one.
Would I be the most talkative one?
You're up there. You're up there. We had a few talkative people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take the trophy tonight then. Nah, but for me personally, I just want to say this: like, don't take things to heart. If I was you, so I think it's best because this already gets edited and cut. Hey,
No,
does this get edited and cut?
no way.
Oh, okay, so. I was gonna say something, but then we were not gonna edit and cut it. But hey,
No, just say it if you want.
no, because
That's up to you. There's a platform for you to say anything you want.
no, that's already been said. But the thing, I think you already know. But I was just saying there might be a certain snippet where you might have to blur out because
No, wait, man.
you're
I'm setting an example.
because you're a laughing.
I'm setting example. I'm setting example for all podcasts out there.
Yeah.
That if you want, hey, you gotta say something different.
But that's what I'm saying. Tony. I'm just very straightforward, man. Like it is what. And so many people just say, "Man, aren't you afraid that people want to beat you up?" And I'm like, "Well, over TikTok." Imagine how depressed you have to be, or how angry you have to be like, I am gonna find this guy that told me to pull my tights down from my stomach. Like,
How old are you?
I'm 30, man.
See, I'm 44, right?
Oh, you look
So
good,
I come from, like I said, I come from no internet,
Yeah.
living no internet, then now internet. So I know
Yeah.
both worlds.
Yeah.
And I like to think that the people in my generation or my age group, wouldn't get angry over a TV screen or a phone screen when you're like that.
That's it.
Like I come from, you go out to nightclubs and you get into a fight. It's face to face, not
That's it.
some attacking someone because you hated their
That's it.
post.
When I watch a TikTok and I disagree with somebody's opinion, I'm like this. Oh. That's all I do. I just scroll on. I don't fucking have a erection and beating my pillow to death and saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna reply." Like, the fuck.
But your content. I really appreciate it because it is something different. You can't get it anywhere else.
Well, yeah.
And that's why I love the podcast platform, just like you love it, because
Yeah.
you're free to say whatever you want. There's a freedom of speech about it, and you can say, honest. That's why I don't edit anything here, because nothing here is gonna be deserves to be edited.
Also, if you do have another podcast, right, and there was let's say there's an opposing side, I would love to be on it also.
Oh yeah.
Like if there was
But are you the type of guy that will change their mind because I like to think I'm the type of guy that I'll have an idea. If someone has an opposing idea, I want to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I want to mix it with my idea.
Yeah.
And see if we can solve the problem.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't try to change their mind, but I will make them want to change their mind.
Yeah, but what if? But see, I don't go with that attitude. I go in thinking, okay, I have this. This is what I believe.
Yeah.
Tell me something better.
Yeah.
And I'll figure out if it is better or not.
Yeah. See, so that's sort of my mindset. But also with me, when I go into a debate, I'm a professional. So I debate what's at hand. I don't, money doesn't buy you happiness here, but you can't take it to heaven. I'm not that sort of person that fucking goes off topic. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that person that dives all the way in the Atlantic Ocean. Like, I I'm the worst person to debate, bro. Like I will say that, man, because like I said, I trained for this sort of thing, man. I was a dedicated battle rapper for over 15 years, bro. Like words have been my thing. I've grasped from the young age, you know.
And so can we talk about that, because I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
So this battle rap scene, because
Yeah.
it's funny because when I thought of battle rap, I always think of Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
How he used to battle rap on the streets of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But I never quite understood the 1 ounce style, because it's a cappella.
Yeah, definitely.
And the first time I ever saw anything like that was Kevin Hart when he used to do his.
Yeah. Well, they got it from the battle rap, how it was.
Because I thought that was nah, that's not real. That's like fake. That's like that's a parody. He's making fun of of battle rap, because I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know you didn't have to have music.
Yeah, so back in the 90s, right? Battle rap back in the 90s used to be, wave your hands and you just don't care. Yo. It used to be to the beat, very like old school type of shit. But then battle rap has evolved now to where they focus on the predominant thing, which is lyrics.
Oh, it's like poetry to me.
Right. Well, rap is poetry. You know what I mean?
But that's even more because it's a cappella.
Yeah. But now it's like, because sometimes when you freestyle over the mic, you can't hear the lyrics.
Right.
You can just hear the beat, and you sort of drown into the beat. So the real battle rap has gone to the point now where it's literally the real test of lyricism. So it's metaphors, alliteration, personification, puns, onomatopoeia. So all English, grammar that people don't understand, puns. So when you go on there and you start battle rapping, it's the true test of intelligence. It's actually a gentleman's game because you're bringing somebody down with your intelligence. Like if you really think about it, it's like it's two full testosterone men bringing down each other with metaphors and similes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So me, the reason why I'm a very good talker is because I've been a dedicated battle rapper for over half my life. Wow. So it's just coming from that, playing with words from the age of 15 to now coming into, a lot of people's been telling me to start a podcast as well, man. But
you should.
I was thinking about it. People have offered me to come into and join their team for podcasts. But the thing is, it's just like, if I ever had to join a podcast, it would have to be a hardcore truth podcast, a podcast where it's just like no holds barred. Obviously, there might be for some censorship to be monetized or whatever. But the thing is,
fuck that.
Yeah,
there's no censorship, man.
For me, I just want to be able to speak the truth, and I want to be able to test your truth. And if you really believe in your truth, then I want you to rebuttal it. I'm not going to try to change your mind, but the thing is, I can come strong on you if I'm really strong on an opinion. And I'm not coming to the point where I'm trying to make you scared or forceful, but I'm going to come from every angle and attack you from it. So whenever you have an objective, I'm coming from, I'm going to lock you into your answer where you're going to be like, fuck, you're right.
But see, that comes from your battle rap experience, all that kind of stuff. Because you need to be, because like I said, like I watched one of your old videos and it's poetry of motion, man. Like the way but you guys, when you say there's no holds barred, there is no holds barred when it comes to that kind of thing. Yeah.
That's why when people try to hate on me on TikTok and they're doing like posting old videos and stupid accusations and allegations, I'm like, I've been a battle rapper for over 15 years. My whole life was dedicated to get mocked and ridiculed and then posted on YouTube, which was then the largest website for God knows how many years. So you think a little hate on TikTok is going to get to me? It's almost like battle rap sort of molded me into this Iron Man. Now that I'm in TikTok, the backlash comes. I'm like, oh, bro, fuck, I've already been trained for this shit. Like, is that all you got? Like, is that going to make me sad? Fuck it, no. Like,
who you listen to when you were 15?
Eminem. Everybody always listens to Eminem, you know what I mean? I watch 8 Mile. If you want to be a battle rapper, the first movie I always say is watch 8 Mile. You start dressing up like B Rabbit, even though I look like the guy that goes 10 freaky girls, 10 the big fat guy. But I think, and also I got into battle rap because I just loved being able to have everyone around you, almost like if it was a fight. And I saw some people saying on your thing like Steven's an attention seeker, and in my mind I'm like, who isn't? Everyone at some sort of position.
That's the best answer there. Who isn't?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, you can't fucking have a TikTok account and you're dancing on TikTok and saying you're an attention seeker. You are too. The only difference is I get 100,000s of views, but your shit dancing gets nothing. So the thing is this. So when you say to me, oh, you're an attention seeker, aren't you? Because if you were an attention seeker, you would have no videos. You would have just a private page with no profile picture. So it doesn't make sense if you're twerking on your fucking TikToks and you're getting only 100 views and then you come up to me and you say, you're an attention seeker. That makes no fucking sense. You're an attention seeker too, you dumb bitch.
Well, that's what the social media is for, eh? You know?
Well,
Social
yeah.
media is for that.
At the end of the day, everybody seeks attention. Some people seek it more than others, but everybody seeks attention. Even this podcast, you want people to grasp people's attention. You want people, or else you wouldn't be doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like people say, "Oh, I just do TikTok for fun." Okay, well then why do you delete your video when it only has 10 views? You know, this one guy, I went on live today, and this one guy said to me, said, "One thing, Stephen, is I don't like your voice. I don't like your tone of voice. I don't like your delivery." But he said this, he goes, "But I can't stop watching you because I hate to say this, you speak the truth." That's what he actually said. And I said, "Bro, I appreciate your honesty." And he's like, "Yeah, it pisses me off, but I just get captivated because you explain the truth." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, duh." Like, I'm not dumb, man. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I just say it how it is. Like, I'm not, if I see something and I see it's black, I'm gonna say it's black. Like, I'm not gonna say, you know, actually that's purple and yellow mixed together. And no, fuck that. It's black. That's white. That's brown.
I made a comment about you on social media.
And what was it? Was it a good comment?
I shared one of your videos. I think it was your feelings one.
Yeah.
And the you know when you have to write something. So I said, "Love this guy's energy. I wish he should be like Stephen A. Smith and talk about sports this way."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a big sports fan.
Oh yeah.
And I think that we need someone of your energy talking about sports.
Yeah.
Talking about these athletes who are useless one week.
Yeah.
And lose the game for these for my team.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would be nice. But I also feel like a lot of people have podcasts and they're shit at it. It's getting oversaturated now, podcasts. I think everybody now thinks, oh, I can talk. I'm going to start a podcast. There's so many shitty podcasts around. Would you agree? There's so many people that be like, oh, yeah, I can afford a mic now. Let's do a podcast.
Well, my thing with other podcasts, especially Pacifica podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound like the radio. Honest, that's my thing.
Bro, 100%.
Like, I don't want it to sound like I'm listening to the radio. Because if I want to listen to the radio, I'll turn on the radio.
And you know what? The Polynesian podcasts stay within the Polynesian niche because the way they speak is like this. Yeah, talo falava, welcome. Yeah, so tell us about the Pacific Islander. And that is only going to attract Pacific Islanders. But if you want to be able to... The whole purpose of a podcast is to debate. That's how it first started, was to debate your views. So you want to go against the grain. You want to be that Pacific Islander that has a podcast and then be like, all these Pacific Islanders are doing that. Oh yeah, you know, glory to God, humble, bringing this. And then you got this other Islander going like this. Okay, well, what's your thoughts on Kanye West? He's a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? And then people be like, oh, I hate this bastard because he's not acting very Samoan-like.
Yeah. For me, anyway, my thing for podcasts, I love to hear conversations.
Yeah.
Because I think I get a lot more out of conversations than an interview.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you think about interviews, it's a radio interview or a TV interview. Yeah. And you only get the sound bites. And there's only short form. So if you come on a TV show and come on the radio, you only got like, 3 minutes, 5 minutes tops?
Yeah.
And you're not going to learn anything.
That's it. And the thing is, it just becomes so monotonous and routine. Like,
exactly.
How's your day?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, how's the weather? I don't give a fuck about how your day is. You know when you ask somebody how's your day and how's the weather, it's because you have nothing to talk about.
I think there was something in the paper recently about how's your day is the worst thing you can say to a academic.
Yeah.
You know?
You know the thing is this, when everybody says how's your day to me, I catch them off guard because I go like this, oh, my day's been absolutely fantastic. You know, today I was walking along the road and then they'll be like this and they're looking at me like they want to go and catch like the bus and I'm like just talking and then I'm like, oh bro, you asked how my day is, like what the fuck? Don't try to cut it short. You asked how my day is. That's why when you say, how are you? I'm like, I'm blessed. I'm awesome, man. I'm fantastic. I'll tell you how it is. Because the worst thing is to say, how are you? Imagine saying, how are you to somebody that dad just died. How are you? Oh, my dad died. How are you going to bounce back from that? How are you? Oh, my dad died today and now I'm a miserable living cunt. Yeah. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? How can you bounce back from that? But like, you know, I would love to keep appearing on your podcast, man. If you ever, like I said, man, if you ever got a specific... One thing is I love talking about, like, you know, gender roles, or I love talking about, you know, masculinity, or I love talking about just truth in general, man. If you have a team over here, man, get me in, man. Even if it's 1 versus a million, man. I'll just sit there in the middle and listen and listen and listen, and then come with the Hadoukens later, you know.
We got Empty Out the Clip podcast, and that's a podcast where, I mean, the title says it's all empty out the clip. You got to come in and fucking
hey,
go hard.
I'll tell you this, man. If your wife wants me to come on Empty Out the Clip, I'll make sure I'll empty every fucking thing there, man. I'll tell you, man, it will be so. Because I'll tell you, I'll say some things that people be like, did you just fucking say it?
Depends what the topics are, because we talk about on that.
Well, give me a topic. What's one topic?
It depends what's on the news. It's anything that's in current events.
Okay, so what was one recent thing that you can remember that you guys talked about, and I'll try to give you my...
So the last episode we talked about you, because you came under a segment we call What's Trending on Social Media.
Okay.
So we talk about...
Were people on my side or not on my side?
Huh?
Were people on my side or not on my side?
Well, no, we were all on your side. But it was cool because, like I said before, like my mate Avi, he saw you as the voice in his head telling him to get up and go train.
Yeah.
You know, and I said that what I told you before, like I loved your energy.
Yeah.
And what you said, you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard anyone talk like you.
Yeah.
Unless you're Stephen A. Smith from ESPN, but he talks about sports.
Yeah.
Same energy, and that's cool because I love that.
Yeah.
So.
Man, look, anything like I said, bro, I'd love to empty the clip. So if you want me to be a special guest on Empty Clip, man, let me know, man. I'll be back here. I'm 15 minutes away. I'd love to talk about it. But I do, you know, I feel like once this gets into the matrix and get into the algorithm, we've said a lot of controversial stuff, and I think this probably might be the biggest one to blow up. And be prepared for the hate comments. There's going to be people that are going to comment underneath and be like, oh, this guy talks shit. But you know, the thing is this, right? I always say this to somebody. Oh, you talk shit. Why? And you know what? They go silent. Because you just talk a lot of caca, okay? Yeah, why?
But they don't have to listen.
That's what I'm saying. They don't know. You tell somebody, yeah, you're the one that just talks a lot of smack. Okay, what smack do I talk about? You just talk a lot of smack. At least give me an intelligent answer. Yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, that's how I just see it. I just feel like at least debate my video. Don't debate me. Debate my video. Yeah.
So, you know what you do with TikTok? Like you've thought about doing your own podcast.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking about it.
Because the thing that I like about podcasts is the long form conversation about it. Because like I'm gonna stitch this up.
Yeah.
Right to our first recording before you left. And that will be like a 2.5 hour, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Man, but see, like if someone's gonna listen to you for 2.5 hours, they'll get the full story, the full context of behind how you come to your videos.
Yeah.
Like if someone sees your video and go, "Fuck this asshole," like I don't agree with what he says.
Yeah.
Because you know you need a long form conversation of you talking to understand what you're gonna say. You know?
But I've gone to the point now where I just say whatever opinion you have about me, it's true. Does that make sense? I've just gone to the point now. So like when I was on my live today, haters were saying, "Oh, you're a liar. You're this." I said, "Yes, I am." "Oh, you're just an asshole." "Yes, I am." And then they don't know what to say. "Oh, you cheated on your ex." "Yes, I did." Oh, they get stuck. "You got a small dick." "Yes, I do."
Like
Shit.
the Charlemagne the God. You know Charlemagne the God?
Yeah. Charlemagne the God. Yeah,
you know why he's successful?
Why?
Because he tells his flaws.
That's what I'm saying.
He puts his flaws out there.
Yeah.
So people can't come back at him.
Yeah, you can't expose somebody that exposes themselves.
Because he's a radio host that is not afraid to talk about other celebrities, what he feels if they did something wrong, he'll talk about it. You know, no matter who it is. And people come at him for that, right?
Yeah.
Because he speaks. He's outspoken. He speaks the truth, his truth.
Yeah.
But he says because he talks about him having a small dick.
Yeah.
Because he's put it out there.
Yeah.
Y'all got a small dick. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like, if I'm gonna take something from you, I gotta give something too.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
see, this one person was saying, you got a small dick, Stephen. And I said, yes, I do. And he goes, yeah. And then she goes, yeah, it's about the same size as your pinky toe. And then I said, no, it's actually smaller. And I go, you got it wrong. It's actually smaller than a pinky toe. I said, you need a magnifying glass to see it. And then she goes like this, dry.
Yeah, that's all.
And,
that's all
and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then you mock me, and then I agree with it. And then you have not, because they know that if words can't offend me, then they just get fucked off and they get pissed off. They're like, shit, this guy just doesn't even get pissed off at what he's saying. So I always say this to people. When they say, prove the allegation wrong, prove the rumors wrong, I said, hey, if you want to think that I'm this sort of person, that's up to you. I'm not going to change your mind. Don't think you're ever going to get my time and energy to try to prove you wrong. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're just a complete a stranger, a peon, a fucking peasant to me. Why the fuck would I waste my time and energy to try to prove a fucking stranger wrong? Would you waste your time and energy to prove a stranger wrong?
No, hell no.
Yeah, we don't owe them anything. And here's the thing. If a person hates you and they hate your guts, do you think anything that you will show them or say would make them change their mind?
No, I don't think they would.
They wouldn't. They because at the end of the day, this is what they'll say. If you tell them the truth, they'll go, lies. I don't believe that. Lies. So it's just a waste of time. So when people are saying shit, talk about the rumors and allegations, it's like, why? You guys just want me to say more things so you can screen record it and post it up. I'm not going to fall into your traps. So if you say, and then they go like this, well, so you are this woman basher, you are this, I go like this. If that's what you believe I am, then that's what you believe I am. And they go, but aren't you gonna try to talk about it? And I'm like, no, that's what you believe I am. If that's it, take that notion.
But that's you telling them I don't need to.
Yeah, I'm like, they'll be like this. Oh, so you hit women? I go, hey, if you believe I do, then that's who you think I am. And they're like, but aren't you gonna address them? I'm like, why? You're not gonna believe me anyways. So there's no need for me. If you want to think that, at the end of the day, look, people with a brain will know somebody's true. And I think you speaking to me, I'm a real tell it how it is guy. I think you also know that I wouldn't want to beat around the bush or fucking lie. You could just tell that I just said how it is. Like, if people don't like it, they don't like it.
Sometimes that's what people need too.
Yeah.
They need to know where people stand.
Yeah.
Not beat around the bush like you said.
That's it. Like, I just tell how it is. Like, that's why I'm the worst person if you want advice. I said that before. If you come to me and you want advice, then don't fucking cry when I give it. If you come to me and you say, oh man, honestly, this, my husband just pisses me off. Eh? Like, I had this one lady that came up and said, oh, my husband pisses me off. Because, like, I come home and the house is messy and he doesn't. And then I go like this, well, who works in the house? And he goes, him. And I said, then why does he have to clean? I go, do you work? She goes, no. And I said, so you're complaining about a man who works and gets all the money and you stay at home and do jack shit. And you want him to also clean the house. Are you delusional? And she goes, you're not a friend.
You're not a friend.
Yeah, she goes, you're not a friend. You're taking his side. I'm like, the fuck? I'm just telling you how it is. You know what I mean? I'd rather have somebody tell me how it is. I'm the worst person to come and ask for advice because I might give you I always say this, if I agree with you, trust me, that's a big thing you should take privilege in, like take happiness in. Because for me, I see everything from every angle. I attack everything. I see every single different rebuttal. So if I say, nah, you're right, you can rest assured and say, holy shit, that's a big thing. It's almost like I got like a Michelin star from Gordon Ramsay or something like that. Because for me, I don't just throw it out like that. I don't just say, oh yeah, you're right. For me to say you're right, actually because you're right.
When you do throw it out like that, what are you trying to get back?
I think what it is like, I'm the sort of person that doesn't look for validation. So I don't look for validation. I just say how it is. So if I ever say to somebody, if somebody comes for me for advice and then they say I'm doing this, I'm like, yeah, you're doing the right thing. You should be happy and you should be proud. Because the thing is, I hate to say this, man, but I'm never wrong. I'm not wrong, bro. I think God had a very good day when he created my brain, because I'm never wrong. Like I said, I live my life full of ignorance, man. And I like, I'm willing to even say to my own mom or my brothers, like, if they're in the wrong, I'll tell them they're in the wrong. I love them to death. I'll take a bullet for them. But if they're in the wrong, are you that sort of person too? Like, are you? If a loved one came up to you and and tried to ask for advice, and you know they're in the wrong, are you going to tell them?
Yeah, I'll give them my advice.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them.
Or are you just going to be like, oh?
No, I'll give them my advice and I'll tell them maybe what you're doing. Maybe you need to do this instead.
Yeah.
Maybe try this one.
Yeah. Because I'm not that sort of person that if you want a shoulder to cry on, trust me, it wouldn't be my shoulder. Yeah. But if you do come to me, and I think it's gone to the point now with my partner, she knows she knows me and she knows how I think and my brain and how my brain works. And so if she approaches me, she makes sure she approaches me with everything fact checked, or like she'll hit it from every angle, because when she comes in, I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right, babe. Oh man, I'll be like, head up, smile. It's okay. But sometimes I'll be like, babe, if you really think about it, she gets pissed off. And then she'll come back like 2 hours later, be like, after giving me the silent treatment, she'll come back and be like, you're right, babe, but I hate you for that.
But does everything need to be like that, though? Does everything need to be like, I need to read up on something to counsel you, or
well, the thing is,
I'm living this way. But if someone approaches me and confronts me about it, I need to know this so I can come back.
Yeah, my intention is not to prove them wrong. My intention is to solve the problem. My intention is not to prove you wrong. Like, if you're going to come up to me and with a problem, my intention is not to try to play devil's advocate and prove you wrong. My intention is to solve the problem. So if you come with me with a problem, best believe I'll solve it, because you now put the responsibility in my hands. If you say, oh, I invested all my money into this business and it fell flat, then I'm going to tell you the truth. I opened up a restaurant and I don't know what's happening. Well, can you cook? Yeah, my mom said I could cook. Well, yeah, so you opened up a restaurant because your mom said you can cook. Well, your mom clearly doesn't have taste buds, like, you know what I mean? So I'll just say how it is. And I don't know, like, I think I've been raised around people that was like that. Yeah. I never knew my father. My father walked out of my life at a young age, and my mom was a strong lady, played both roles, mother and father. And my mom was the one that doesn't take bullshit from no one, strong Polynesian woman. Yeah. And what I really love about my mother is she didn't raise us in this Polynesian traditional way. Oh, yeah. She raised us into, I remember my mom said to me, you can try anything you want to try, but don't get addicted. I still remember that. She said that to me. She goes, you can try anything you want to try, just don't get addicted. It's good for experience. I remember my mom saying that to me when I was young. And that's sort of the mindset that I'll carry with me if I have kids. You could try anything you want. Yeah. But just don't get addicted. And I think we've got to get to the point now where we've got to try to stop sheltering our kids. And I think a lot of Polynesian parents, they would keep saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. But if you treat them like an animal, they're going to behave like an animal. And if you say don't get into a relationship, they're going to end up getting into a relationship behind your back. I want my kids to make a big mistake, the biggest mistake they can ever fucking make. And the first thing they say is, I got to text dad. I got to text mom. I got to let them know. I don't want my kids to be like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. I can't tell mom and dad. I want them to be like, oh, I fucked up. I need to tell mom and dad.
That was how I grew up, like, in that mindset.
Yeah.
Can't tell my parents.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like that. And I find it interesting that the highest teenage pregnancy rate is in schools with one gender.
Oh, yeah.
So casting girls.
There's a big deal with solo parenting.
Yeah.
Like, especially not having a father there, because it's likelihood that, things will go wrong with the kids when they grow up. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because I know Samoan pastors, right? And their notion is when their daughter goes to college, they're going to go to a high school where it's co-ed, where it's literally just one sex. So they're gonna put all them into one. So they're gonna grab their daughter, and I'm gonna put them in Custom Girls, Epsom, Auckland Grammar, into one school where there's no guys, and these are pastor kids. They're gonna put there, and because they hope they're not gonna focus on boys. But isn't it amazing how those schools have the highest teenage pregnancies? So the question you have to ask is why? Well, maybe it's because you have fucking shouted them and said, you can't get guys, you can't get boyfriends, you can't do this. So you know what they do? They rebel, motherfucker.
Yeah,
They rebel.
that's the cause.
As a parent, you want to be like, hey, look, if you have a boyfriend, if I had a daughter or a son and they were going into high school, I would say, hey, look, you might find a guy attractive, you might find a girl attractive. And if you do, and you end up being in a relationship, I want to know who they are. Bring them over to the house. I want to meet them.
Yeah,
So-
that's been the way to combat that. That what you said, what you said about depriving kids on, or being strict on kids with when it comes to boys or girls or whatever, that relationship stuff. Yeah, they do rebel.
Yeah.
And I think the change, but you see it now with a lot of, especially girls of my generation, like same age as me, but when they bring up their kids, they don't bring them up like they were brought up.
Yeah.
They're more open to their kids about sex.
Yeah.
And relationships and boys and
Yeah.
that. So they don't, to the point where I'm like shocked when I hear it.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, fuck, I'll never talk to my mama about that shit.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a thing that happens so they can understand. And so there is that relationship.
Yeah.
So that they don't know anything. You know, and it's good. It's
like
it's a
Tupac.
good thing.
Tupac said Tupac's mum said that if you get high with me.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's that kind of thing, and I think that's the relationship you want to build with your kids. If you put a dog in a cage all the time and you open it and then you close them in the cage, what happens when you leave that cage door open?
I remember my because I had an ex, right?
Yeah.
And she had a drinking relationship with her dad. They were
Yeah.
drinking together.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of relationship they had. They're like friends.
Yeah.
You know, father and daughter. You know,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
Yeah. Because you're a parent yourself,
Yeah.
right? So do you live by the philosophies like if you end up getting a boyfriend or girlfriend, let me know, you know? Or are you still the
nah. See,
focus?
the thing is, with how I grew up, see, my mom was strict with us, right?
Yeah.
No girlfriends, no nothing, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But the problem was they never told us why.
Yeah.
We never got the why.
Yeah.
We got the don't do, but we
Yeah.
never got the why.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big a big factor.
Yeah.
The not giving us the why.
Yeah.
Because that's why we rebel. Because why?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah.
But we're not understanding the why. I
Yeah.
bet you if we understood what the why was,
Yeah.
why, and plus we're young, so we
So have you explained the why to your kids?
yeah, I explained the why.
Nice.
I explained the why,
Yeah.
and it's funny because with the boys, you know, it's like, do you really want to share your money when you're got your first job?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I try to tell them, like, you know, when you get your first job, like that's your money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't ask me for any money. Don't ask your mom. Like we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just build yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Build yourself.
Well, you did pretty well for yourself, man. I saw the house. I see the. Damn.
This
Beautiful, man. Like, honestly, you did pretty well. It's beautiful, though, man. It's gorgeous house. I saw it and I was like, whoa. And even in the rich neighborhood as well. So you're doing pretty good for yourself, man. Good
this
on
is
you.
which neighborhood?
Yeah, man. So like, I saw
Must
it.
be because also all the kids in costume and
Yeah,
Halloween
man.
costume.
That's what I'm saying, man. If you see a lot of kids walking around your neighborhood freely like that, man, it must be a very good neighborhood. You think they're walking around like that in Mangry Town City at this time? But yeah, I just think personally, I feel like the truth needs to be spoken. And
But see, some people gonna like listen to this podcast and listen to you say you've got no kids.
yeah.
So what gives you the right to talk about it when you got no kids?
Well, that's the most idiotic thing to say, because you could have it's almost like saying why is Simon Cowell a judge on American Idol if he can't sing? He's the biggest talent producer in the whole entire world. He produced Justin Bieber, One Direction. But why is he the judge on American Idol if he can't sing? Joe Bastianich is a judge on MasterChef. And he's not a chef. He's a restaurateur. And he won there was a particular season where the judges would go against each other. It was Graham, Aaron Sanchez, Gordon Ramsay, and Joe Bastianich. Aaron Sanchez and Gordon Ramsay are two prolific chefs, and Joe Bastianich is not a chef, and he won.
So you don't need experience.
The thing is this, right?
Specifically.
You just have to have really good insight. Because I can tell you this. I know people who has kids that don't know what to do with their kids. I know people who has kids that don't even deserve kids. They don't even look after their kids. So what, are you telling me you'd rather listen to her advice? The one that doesn't clean her kids' nappies? The ones that just let her kids run on the road and cars are driving past? The ones that they beat up their kids and bash them to a pulp? Oh, okay, because since they have kids, that gives them the validity to preach about kids. It just makes no sense. It's just if you have good insight, you have good insight. Like I said, I see everything like as a whole. I didn't just see tunnel vision. Like I see everything from all angles. I see the manipulation, and I see their traps that they try to get me to land in, and then I change the segue. So yeah. Very perspicacious.
What does that mean?
It means very good perspication, good perspective, very good insight. I'm very aware. I'm very alert. And one thing about me is like my friends and my family now have gone to the point now is like when they need to solve a situation, they're like, what would Stephen do? It's literally gone to that point now. They'll be like, hey son, I'm just going through this situation. Stephen, we're thinking about moving it to this. What's your thoughts? And then I'll give my thoughts and be like, I knew it. Nice. You know what I mean? Because they know me. I'm not biased. I'm not biased to anybody. I'm just biased to the answer. Like, if I find the answer, I'm biased to that answer. I'm the sort of person that doesn't let my emotions get to me. That's like, I was one of those people, but like I said, I've been through it to discover myself that you don't, a successful man is a person that controls their emotions. My partner, if she was on this podcast right now, she would literally tell you that I never go by emotions. She'll be so flustered and angry, and I'll be like, oh yeah, so you done? Oh yeah, so this, and she'll be like, you don't even care. And I'm like, I do care. I'm just not on my emotions. If we were on the Titanic, this is me, and I can honest to God say this. If we're on the Titanic and everybody's screaming, going, we're going to die, I would literally be like this. Everybody, shut up. What are we going to do?
Die.
Yeah, I'll be like this. That's literally me. If we're on the plane and the plane's falling down, crashing, everyone's running around putting those masks on it. I'll be like, okay, let's solve a problem. What do we need to do?
Make sure.
Because there's this. Because the thing is this: once you lose yourself, you lose it all. You know what I mean? So don't lose yourself, because once you lose yourself, you lose it all.
Where does all this come from? All this knowledge you have of advice and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you go through higher education, or did you?
No. I dropped.
Do you read a lot of books?
Yeah, I read a lot of books, but also as well, I feel like you got to learn a lot about yourself. Nobody likes to learn about themselves. You can really tell somebody's how they are by checking their YouTube history.
Oh, really?
If you go on somebody's YouTube history and they're searching
right
crump, battle rap, or searching cooking videos or twerking, you can really tell what they think. But if you search somebody's research history and it's like the brain, how does the brain function? The law of attraction, words of affirmation. You know what I mean? Like the placebo effect. When you search that, you're like, fuck, this guy is a person you would want to have a conversation with. So if you look at my YouTube history, it's exactly that. I don't watch TV shows. I watch documentaries because I like to learn. And Jim Rohn says this amazing quote. He said, work on yourself more than you work on your job. So I want to find myself. I want to know who I am. Like, this body is not us. This is not my hand. This is just the body. Who are you? Who is your soul? We are a soul in a body. I don't want to know your name. That's just the name that your parents gave you. I want to know, who are you? And not many people can answer that question. Why is it that we hate pain? Why? Why is it that we love to be happy? Has people asked these questions? Nobody asks that. Isn't that crazy though? Why is it that we hate pain?
Just the uncomfortability of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that means then if we hate pain, that means we're not meant to have pain.
But then, as well as that, pain gives you more resilient.
Exactly. So you have to ask yourself why. Why don't we like pain? Why do we prefer to be happy? And you got to do a lot of self-reflection. Every single time I wake up in the morning, I do a prayer, and then I think about what I'm grateful for. And then I do a meditation. Sometimes I end up going back to sleep because the meditation is so comforting. Sometimes I'll cry in my meditations because I like to set the tone in the beginning.
I know what you think about, because of me, when I think about pain, and we gotta be, if you want to reach the top of something, you gotta endure the pain, to get there. Because you can't, if you don't, then you're not gonna get anywhere, And people before you have set that pathway for you, because they've gone through the pain, and they've gone to the top, and they said, hey, if you want to get to where I am, you gotta go through what I went through. That's it. And there's always people gonna be better than that, and then they set the standard. When I think about that kind of stuff, I think about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, because they did extra stuff through their careers to get them where they are. And people look at them and fuck, I ain't waking up 4 a.m. to train. I'm not gonna stay behind after the game and shoot threes for another 3 hours. But they did it because that's why they're the best. And they went through that pain of going through. So
that's it.
So in the sporting perspective, it's always been there.
That's it. It's a great indicator. It's a great motivator. But I always say to myself that, focus on who you are, what makes you happy, and whenever you're angry, ask yourself why you angry. Because the problem is not that you're angry. The problem is why you reacted. Focus on why you reacted.
Is this what you're trying to do when you get reaction of people? You're trying to make them...
Yeah, I focus on why they're angry. So if somebody's angry at me and throwing hate comments to me, I'm like, oh, okay, they're hating. Wonder why they're angry.
That's what you're thinking?
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe because it's related to them.
But you want them to think that too.
And they probably are already thinking that for them to react that way.
But they exert so much energy stitching up your videos.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Imagine how sad you have to be to take time out of your precious day to stitch and record a video and upload it. How sad do you have to be? Like so many haters were on my live today, and they're like, this guy's so annoying to watch. And I was on the live for 4 hours, and they stayed on the whole 4 hours. That's what I'm saying.
True that.
I've never met anyone that hates someone so much that they'll watch them for 4 hours, Like, how can you hate someone so much?
They must not hate you then.
Well, that's why I say haters are a secret fan. A hater is a secret fan. They're actually a fan, but in secrecy. That's what a hater is. And every brick they throw at me, I use it to build my empire one by one. So at the end of the day, haters are my biggest motivators. And they don't know they actually make me stronger. And I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. You need haters. Behind a successful person is a flock of haters.
So
if you don't have haters, you're not successful. That's the truth. You know how many people hate on LeBron? You know how many people hate on LeBron?
Yeah,
even though I think he's better than Michael Jordan, but you know how many people hate on him?
Can't believe you said that.
Well, see, Michael Jordan, if Michael Jordan was popping today, man, I feel like the media is more powerful now than ever. It wasn't powerful back in Jordan's days. So even like when he played in the flu game, that he was out hungover. He was drunk. He wasn't really sick. It wasn't the flu. He went, got out, partied. He was drunk, and then he came in and hung out. But he said it was the flu. Can you imagine if LeBron did that now? The paparazzi would have got his ass. If LeBron woke up one day and he said, "I'm going to pretend I have the flu," and then shoot these amazing threes on the flu game, he wouldn't have the opportunity because people would be like, "He was out last night fucking another bitch."
Are you NBA fan?
A little bit. I know.
Who's your team? Who's your team?
The Celtics, man.
Is it?
Yeah, I gotta go for the Celtics, man.
What'd you think of their coach getting suspended?
Yeah, bro. I just think, man, he deserves.
He deserves.
Yeah, I didn't get this, but like for me, man, like in terms of sports and that, I'm passionate in sports. I'm passionate in MMA. I love the UFC. Yeah. Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. I feel like that was an amazing fight. Yeah.
How would you like to do an MMA podcast?
Bro, I would love to do that. I love MMA, man. I could talk about it to the day,
Really?
to the end of the days, man. MMA, man. I love that sort of shit.
Because I really think with your energy,
Yeah.
if you focus, like for me anyway,
Yeah.
if you focus that on sports,
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to do that all the time because I really think we need a voice like energy and voice like yours
Yeah.
on sports. Because I don't know if you watch Sky Sports and all those commentary and all that,
Yeah.
those shows we have with
Yeah.
the rugby and that.
Yeah.
Fucking boring, man.
Yeah, and I think that's the New Zealand culture, and I think that's what holds New Zealand. See, when everybody talks about trash talk, they attach it to Americans. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They never attach trash talk to New Zealand because the culture in New Zealand is this chilled, relaxed, humble. So as soon as that's why people get angry at Israel Adesanya, because Israel Adesanya is like, I'm the man, and then people are like, oh, humble yourself.
Yeah.
Because in the New Zealand culture and the Pacific Island culture is like, you can't be arrogant but it's like, it's not arrogant, it's just confidence.
You know what? You know what I say to that?
Yeah.
You know what I say to that?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. You know what? I want to change that culture.
Yeah.
I don't want us to be like that.
That's it. Fuck it.
I like the fucking trash
Bro,
talking shit.
I tell you this, bro. If I was Israel Adesanya, I would be the next Conor McGregor by now because the way I talk, man. Can you just imagine if I was the number one kickboxer or the MMA fighter in the world? I'll be like, I'm just God's gift. I'm the greatest ever. I feel like nobody can't beat me. I'm a god when I enter that ring. Everybody would just be so pissed off at me. But I feel like we've got to get out of this culture where we're thinking humble is about being less than, negative, and defeated.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But how do we do that?
By changing the language.
But how do we do that?
And by telling
do we
people,
need more people like you?
Yeah, but more people like me. And that's why I hate watching like David Tua and Sonny Bill and all of that, because it's just the same old story but different body. Like, just wanted to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You just fucking knocked him out, mate. And you're saying, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like, God loves uppercuts. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ while that guy's having a seizure. Like, I just feel like at the end of the day, bro, you just gotta be straightforward, man. And like, that's why I hate it when I see, New Zealand has talent. The reason why Israel Adesanya has made it to the place he's made it to now is because of his trash talk. That's literally it. Dan Hooker would have been the same. They gave the microphone to Dan Hooker, one of his first fights, and they said, who do you want to call out? And he goes, anybody, man. Anybody. I said, man, fuck you, gave me that microphone. I'll be like, Conor McGregor, you motherfucker. Come after me, bitch. Like, You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there has to come a point where we can tell people it's okay. This is why there's so many depressed cunts out here. There's so many weak people out here because nobody's telling them that they're great. Have you ever met someone when you're like, oh, man, you got a mean voice, and they go like, nah, that's all you, brother. That's all you. Have you met people like that? Or you were like this?
All the time.
Bro, there's this one guy that pisses me off because he's got a really good voice. He's good at singing. I'm like, bro, you got a mean voice. And he's like, nah, I suck, G. And I'm like, yeah, now you're just arrogant now. That comes across arrogant, not humble, because you know you got a good voice. And now you're telling me no. Now you're lying to me. Like, the best thing to say when somebody compliments you is thank you. You got a good voice. Yeah, thanks.
But the reason why he said, oh, nah, I'm not, because someone told him he's not.
That's it, because that's how people will respond to him if he compliments other people. And it's gone to the point now where Islanders, and this is what I find funny, is they like to give to people, right? And then when people say, I'll give back to you, they're like, nah, it's all right. It's okay. It's all good. It's fine. And then they end up going home and they're like, fuck, this bitch doesn't even fucking pay me back. Let's pay me back. And then
I've seen that.
Yeah, and then they'll be like this, and then we're like, fucking bitch, fucking hell, no, I'm broke here, can't pay my fucking bills, and blah, blah, and then they see them at church and be like, man, yeah.
Those backstabbing
yeah,
ones.
and then they give money again to the pastor. They give money to the pastor, and they'll be like, yeah, this is your gift, and then come home and be like, he's driving around in the nice car, and we're over here struggling, and then see the pastor next week, another. So the thing is this. Are you actually giving money because you want to give, or are you giving it because you want to look good?
Oh,
Because the true essence of giving, right, is giving with no returns. So if you're giving and you're complaining, and people always say, yeah, but I don't want a return. I just want thank you. That's a return. You want them to acknowledge you. That's a return.
well, the money thing is true because they read out how much each family gives.
Bro, it's ridiculous, man. When my grandmother died, my mom said we had to go and buy about 100 boxes of corned beef, and the families that would come to us and give us money, we have to give them money back and corned beef. I'm like, fuck, our grandmother died, not theirs. And you wonder why we're on the top 10 most wanted list on Bay Corp? But, you know, and I bet you, if people do watch this sort of shit, they're going to complain. Some people are going to be like, you know, they'll probably stitch a video and say, look at this guy talking. Because this is what we do. We're living in an age now where the attention span is so short. Nobody likes to watch hour-long things no more, right? And TikTok is destroying everybody's attention span in real time. Because TikTok, it gives you a sense of dopamine every single shot. It's like you scroll on, happy. So everybody's attention span now is cut short. That's why YouTube is making YouTube shorts, where it's all short video clips. But the problem is that what people do is they grab a little bit of our context and then they will cut it and snip it and they'll be like, they're talking bad about islanders.
Yeah. Oh, that's what the paper does anyway. That's what mainstream does.
Yeah, it's sensationalized. Yeah. They sensationalize.
And that's where the sound bites come from. You know?
Yeah. They create these little sound bites and then they run with it and they paint a narrative. And then they're like, this person is this. I can guarantee you right now, if I ask anybody, why don't you like me? They wouldn't know. They actually wouldn't know.
No, they wouldn't. Because I get that too. Because we put these, when we do these podcasts, we snip a little preview, a bit. Yeah. Like a soundbite. Yeah. And we put them on social media. People comment on it. But we purposely put some stuff that might be interesting. Yeah. But you don't get the whole of the story. The context ain't there.
That's it.
You know? And they comment on this little video. And you can tell by the comments that they haven't even listened to the whole thing.
That's it.
But that's fine.
That's it. And the thing is, like, I've seen it. I'll give you another prime example. I was the first ever islander that came after the TikTok community about, have you watched the lives where people send gifts and that?
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking about how islanders, they would go, let's get to number one. So there's rankings, right? The most gifts, you go to number one, right? And they're literally going like this to their followers. Let's get to number one, people. Let's get to number one. And I'm like, no, you don't really care about getting to number one. You just want your fucking money. Yeah. I was like, you don't give a fuck. Yeah. You don't give a fuck if you're going to reach number one. Because if TikTok literally said, we're going to stop giving you guys money and you guys just see who gets to number one, you guys would just don't give a fuck. You would just be like, oh, no, fuck that. I don't want to play this game no more. So I was the first one to come after that community.
Oh, and you actually said that?
Yeah, I said, I go like this, stop lying to your fucking followers. Yeah. And then I said something along the lines of, because the lion is the biggest gift. If somebody sends you a lion, that's $800, right? And the lion is the biggest gift. And then I said, why would you ask for a lion when your wife looks like a lion? And I said that as a joke, right? Obviously, it's a little bit of humor. We all have humor. And somebody with a brain will know that he's just fucking trying to make people laugh. Somebody stitched the part where I said, why ask for a lion when your wife looks like a lion? And then he said, Stephen was saying that all Samoan ladies look like a lion. I was like, bro, I never even said that.
No.
Like,
so obviously there's agenda there.
Yeah,
right?
but that's why I said, man, I've gone to the point now that whatever you think about me is true. Because I can't change you, bro. I can't. I spent my whole life trying to change people. Like, no, that's not me. Trust me. No. I've realized if people hate you, they will just choose to hate you. The only people that you should try to change their opinion if they have something against you is people that you love and respect. Like if my wife or my partner, if she had an opinion about me that was a little bit distasteful, I would use my energy and time to try to prove that opinion wrong because my partner means a lot to me. I'll try to use all my energy to prove my mum, those accusations are wrong because I love and I respect them. But a stranger who I don't even know, they don't even know me. Why should I waste my time and energy to try to prove them wrong? Because if I say I'm not a woman basher and I say all of this and I give them proof, do you think they're going to be like, yeah, you're right? Or they're going to be like, liar, you're just a liar.
So Stephen, why do it? Why put yourself out there? Why attract all these comments to your page? Why get all these followers? Why?
Because someone has to do it. Someone has to do it, right?
No one asked, but
Well,
someone has to.
Yeah, someone has to do it. Someone has to do it. Like, for example, right? Why do you want to be a plumber? You have to deal with shit. Well, somebody has to do it. Why do you work in a sewage? Well, someone has to do it. If that's my purpose, it's to, look, if I might not save everybody, but if I save one, that's still an impact. Imagine changing somebody's life and way of thinking. You might not be able to save all 50,000 of them, but if you could change one life, you've changed the whole generation cycle. You know, I've had people message me and say, you helped me from suicide. I got Instagram message people saying that you helped me from suicide. And they're pouring out their whole testimony inside the messages, crying. And they're saying, thank you. So
see, that's
what I'm saying.
But that's the evidence right there.
There we
right?
go. That's what I'm saying.
That's because you're coming from a different perspective, right?
Exactly.
You're coming from a different angle on how to combat suicide, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a big problem in our Polynesian people.
Yeah.
The numbers are high.
And even the lady, like a lady messaged me, she said that I was with an abusive partner for 4 years. And then when I heard that message saying, you know, get out of your fucking feelings, leave, she says she can finally go and seek help and go into women's refuge. So to me, it's like when people say it doesn't work, I'm like, of course it works. And then they're like, post receipts, show us. And I'm like, why do I have to try to prove you right?
Post receipts.
Yeah, they're like post receipts, show us the screenshots. And here's the thing, right? If I show the screenshots, you know what they will say? Oh, you created a fake account to make those screenshots. That's what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. You know who I will show the screenshots to? My partner. She said, oh, babe, can I see it? I'll show it to my mom. I'll show it to people that actually care and I respect for. But if a stranger's like, show it, just show it. And then they go like this, but there's hardcore evidence, Stephen, that's going against you. And I'm like, well, if it was hardcore, what the hell am I doing out of a prison cell? You know what I mean? And I go like this, where did you guys see this information? On Facebook. Okay, well, I want you to go to the judge and then say he deserves to be in prison because I saw a video on Facebook. We live in an age now where people don't question anything. They believe whatever they read. I can guarantee you right now, if you posted up a status on your Facebook and it went viral and you said, Stephen came and stole my car and he drove off of it and it got a bit of traction, I can 100% people will say, oh, you're stealing cars now.
So these might be a motivation for you to keep going when you get these positive situations, helping these people get out of their rut.
Yeah, that's it, man. And like I said, somebody just has to do it. And whether people will listen or not, I don't care. But if I can save one life, that's enough. Because that one person, changing that one person will change a whole generation's way of thinking.
How do you find your content going on TikTok versus Instagram, Facebook, or any other?
The thing is, I think TikTok is just TikTok has the best algorithm out of every big tech's website. You know, if TikTok, it's basically you can become a internet sensation overnight. You can start off with no followers and one video can get over 1 million likes and 1 million views. You can't do that on Instagram. You can't do that on Facebook. You can do it on TikTok. And that's the reason why TikTok has a lot of haters as well, because TikTok, they just export your video to everybody. It's like they just put your video on their front yard and they didn't ask for it. So they're just scrolling and they're like, fuck, this guy annoys me. And that's why they get the most haters, right?
Yeah.
That's why most haters exist on TikTok, is because you show up on somebody's newsfeed without their permission. Whereas on Instagram, you choose the people you follow. On Facebook, you choose the people that you're friends with. On TikTok, you might not even be my friend, and I just show up on your FYP, and you're like, fuck, he's annoying.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why TikTok has blown, because their algorithm is the best algorithm to become famous. You make it big on TikTok, you've created a platform. So everybody knows me now. I can't walk down the street without people asking a photo.
Oh, and you get that? You get that?
All the time.
Really?
And my partner knows that too. And the funny thing is that so many people ask for photos, so many people ask for videos, so many people ask for TikTok. So it's amazing how the hate only exists online.
Right.
Because everybody seems to hate my guts online, but then when they see me, hey, you're the guy on TikTok, you're the guy on TikTok. Where's the hate in person? The fuck?
You're right. That's it's almost like the haters, because that's definition of troll, right?
Yeah.
The trolls, keyboard warriors.
That's it.
You know, easy for them to throw in the little hateration.
Yeah.
But the people that love what you do, that relate to you, don't say anything.
That's it.
Because why would they?
That's what
Unless
I'm
they
saying.
say, put a heart there.
That's it.
Well, put a like there.
That's what I'm saying.
And the people that like you will probably be the people that are on the street, say hi, whatever.
Yeah, and that's why I said haters, like, opinions should only hurt from people that you respect. I don't respect any hater.
You know what, bro? I think I think you could like do courses on how to change people's mindset on.
Oh man, you're bigging me up, man. I appreciate it.
No, honestly, not like. See, for me,
yeah,
I hate this fucking tall poppy syndrome shit.
Yeah.
Because I lived it.
Yeah.
And I can see how bad it is. Like with the Adesanya example.
Yeah.
He sees it.
Yeah.
We have to change that.
That's
We have to change this. We gotta redefine being humble.
That's it.
We gotta redefine it.
Exactly. Because humility is not being a little bitch.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. Because a lot of Pacific Islanders think being humble is by being weak and by being useless.
Yeah, exactly.
And by talking down on yourself.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it's not.
Yeah.
That's not. That's
just all in your head.
That's what's actually holding us back.
Because it ends up being all in your head.
Yeah. The most beautiful thing a woman could do is just to be like, oh, you're beautiful, thank you. Imagine saying to a beautiful woman, oh, you're beautiful. Nah, I'm ugly. Then you're just like, you're an attention fucking seeker because you know you're fucking beautiful. Like, I hate it when they say, oh, bro, man, thank you for the feed. Ah, man, glory to God, all to God. God, glory to God. I'm like, you're the one that went to work, cunt, for that. Like, the hell? I know, thank God.
Yeah.
Because then it comes off condescending. Or like, oh, thank you for thank you for shouting me. Nah, I did it for God because God. And I'm like, okay, so you only did it for God. So you didn't really give a fuck about me, eh?
See, I'm thinking that's what the Balangis think. The Balangis are like that. Like,
yeah, that's
if the Balangis heard this conversation, then we go, man, I didn't know those guys are like that.
Islanders are the biggest. Islanders
Islanders are like that.
Yeah, Islanders are the biggest givers. I must say that they have the biggest hearts, but they're also the biggest complainers. They will complain. I've been around a lot of Islanders that would give to the church and complain about giving to the church, and then just repeat the process. It's literally insane. Albert Einstein said, insanity is when you do something the same way, expecting a different result.
Yeah,
that's insanity. So these guys give, and complain and complain and give and complain and complain and give. It's just a repetitive process. So granted, you're the most giving person, but you're the biggest complainer too. Like, oh, fuck, I'm so broke because I give all the money to the whaiwhiao. And then next week, here's another money to the whaiwhiao. And then you just keep complaining. So are you actually giving it from your heart? It defeats the whole purpose of giving. Then you question yourself and say, are you really a giver? Or is this just for own personal status? So that's why whenever I give, I make sure that I'm able to give it because I'm giving it for the purpose of giving. That's why I don't just give out money like that. If I ever give out money, it's because I know that I'm actually giving it because I want to give it. I'm never like under any sort of peer pressure. Like, oh, I need to give it because they're going to talk bad about me. If they do, who gives a fuck? I still sleep. Like, I don't give a fuck. I sleep with my $100. You know what I mean? But if I ever give you money, it's because I actually believe, I'll give it. But I'll never complain when I give something. Never. I'm not that sort of person that will give you something and be like, you remember when I shouted you a feed? So like my brother's like, he's the most annoyingest cunt ever, man. He'll be like this, are you hungry, Stephen? I'll be like, yeah. And then he'll shout me a feed. And then at family's dinner, he'll be like, oh man, Stephen was so hungry one night, I had to go and buy him. I was like, fuck, you offered, cunt. You know what I mean? So like, also, I don't know if I'm dragging this on a little bit too long, but if you have any other questions, man, then we could sort of try to wrap it up. But man, like I said, this is not my last time on this podcast, man. I would love to come back, man, and whatever other questions you have, empty that clip.
Yeah.
That would be an episode, man. I'll tell you this, man. I have such a big insight in sex and relationship and the dynamics between women and girls and men and girls that if I speak about it, man, you guys will just fucking cracking up, man.
Oh, you know what? Just when you said that, we've got these 3 boxes here that we we get our guests to write a question for each,
Yeah.
and the girls on the podcast Afghanistan Scoop, they answer these questions.
Yeah.
So these boxes here, there's one box called sex,
Yeah.
anything, and serious.
Yeah.
Serious. So serious topic, anything topic or topic about sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Write on the piece of paper your question, and the girls will do it on their podcast.
Oh, that's cool. That's mean.
I'll get you to write that out before you go.
Oh, yeah, sweet, man.
But,
Hey, also, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up, or what you want to do?
No, man, I think that's it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, what a good conversation. Also, like, I think it's really good to bond with a brother that has this sort of mindset, because I feel like a lot of us Polynesians don't like talking about these sort of things. They don't have these sort of communications, and it's not because they're inferior, and it's not because they're not smart. They're the most smartest people in the world, the most giving and loving people in the world. But I think there just needs to be a change of language. We need to redefine some new words that's just become stagnant. Like the word humble and humility. We need to change that definition of humble and humility. We've got to also change the definition of confidence, because a lot of times they think confidence is arrogance.
And I think we change that by having people like you speak.
That's it.
On these things all the time.
That's it. And that's why a lot of people disagree with me, because you see this big Polynesian guy saying, "Tole ufa, gefe, get out the fuck out of your feelings, cunt." Like, and then they're like, "That's not very Samoan-like." And then I'm like, "Oh, but weren't you like that to your husband? Weren't you like that to your kids?" Oh, but it's not Samoan-like because you want me to portray a picture to the world of what Samoan-like is.
Well, see, it makes it harder because we live in the Western world here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like, if we go back to Samoa, then of course it's different, right?
Yeah.
Like, I always had this joke, when things go too bad with PC culture, I'm moving back to Samoa, because they aren't gonna deal with any of that shit,
Yeah.
But over here we do live in the Western world. The Polynesians still are, up there. How do we get there?
Yeah.
And how do we navigate our culture with the Western world? Sometimes you gotta give and take. There's a give and take, right?
Yeah.
You gotta give some of how the Polynesians do it. Like, it's sort of like, for me, when I'm thinking about them, it's like every man for himself. They don't have this collective sort of living. But we do. Yeah. Because we have a village mentality. Yeah. We have our immediate family. We have our outside family. We have our friends. It's a lot of pressure for us to just give it away like that. But there has to be a balance. And then also with decolonization. Decolonization is starting to be a thing here now, and what does that mean for us? Yeah. What does that mean for how we deal with life? Because we got to think about that as well.
But people that still use colonization as an excuse for them to be successful, it's just a cop out. I always say that.
Oh no, it's decolonization.
Oh yeah, decolonization.
That's starting now.
Yeah, that is starting now.
It's starting.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
Yeah.
What are we trying to do here?
Yeah,
are we trying to get rid of the Western way of living?
Yeah.
And to get the Polynesians down to our level?
Exactly.
Or what are we trying to do there? I don't know.
And I think it's just out here in the West where they're trying to change everything. Because if you look at the East, they still stick to traditional roles and everything like that. If you look at like Russia, you don't see somebody walking around with a rainbow on their shirt with blue hair and fairy wings walking down the road. Like, you do that in Russia or Saudi Arabia or things like that, you get shot. Like, let's just be real. But over here on the West, I don't know, the West is just crazy, eh? Like, I think they've just gone to the point now where they're trying to make everybody normal. Like, they're trying to say animals are the same as people. Like, people gluing their hand on the ground to protest. So when police and that take them, they would rip their skin off the ground.
See the way I see it, when colonization happened, the Polynesians came and just took what they wanted, took what they thought was good, and then ran with it, and looked at what they thought was bad, and said, "Nah, we won't do that." We'll take that out of your culture, but we'll leave that behind because we don't want that.
Yeah.
So decolonization is the reverse of that, right? Yeah. We're reversing that process. So we're saying, no, actually, this was good. You guys left it behind, so we'll use this again. We'll put this in again, right? Yeah. So if we got this culture of putting people down, or the tall poppy syndrome, if that's a culture that needs to change, then isn't that the same thing? Can't we, as Pacifica,
Yeah.
say that, okay, this is bad for us.
Yeah.
Can we just get rid of it?
Exactly.
Can we?
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not working, right?
That's
it's
it.
not empowering anyone. You know,
Yeah.
because we've been left behind with this shit.
Yeah. And I think we've just come so far where it's almost like they can't be changed. If that makes sense, because
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want to hear that too. But unfortunately, we live in that sad reality where it's we've just come so far.
Yeah,
where
because that does make me even more Samoan or less Samoan.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying.
If they're saying, wait, you can't do that because that's how we are.
Exactly.
But I don't agree with that. But
yeah,
like that's putting us down.
And the reason why I said it can't be changed is because not many people would jump on our wagon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's why we need more people.
Yeah, it's about two. It's like two of us and a few other people that going against the whole nation, really. So the only way for our voices to be heard is by just us speaking our truth. That's literally it. This podcast helps. When I go on TikTok, it helps. You know how many islanders write to me in private and tell me how much I've changed their lives? Obviously, they don't say it out on the comment section and that, because as soon as somebody writes something positive about me on my comment section, you know what the haters do? Oh, you're dumb. You're stupid. You're useless. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, so they don't want, they're scared of the backlash. But I'm like, let me take it. Because I got thick skin, man. Like, I don't, like, after this, I'm going to get Macca's, bro. Like, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to give me chicken nuggets. I'm going to give me a chicken Mac attack, give my missus a feed, like, go home, eat, and then fucking just, like, sleep. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be lying on my bed obsessing over somebody's comments. I worry about, if I ever have to worry, it's because I'm worrying over somebody I love. Like, for me to hate you, I have to love you. That's why I don't hate people. Because for me to hate you, I got to love you. You can only hate people you love. You know, if people say, yeah, but what about this murderer? He went and murdered. I don't give a fuck. I don't know him. Like, I don't hate him. Why would I hate him? He didn't murder any of my family members. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like the only opinions that should matter to you are people that you love. If your wife, your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your siblings have an opinion about you, that shouldn't matter to you because they love you. And they should, not saying everybody's family, but they should have the best interest in you. So if they have an opinion against you, that's something you should have some self-reflection and take into consideration. But if it's just a hater, it's just a troll that has a username that looks like their Wi-Fi password, that has no profile picture and 0 videos and 0 likes, are you really going to spend a good 45 minutes trying to prove your innocence? Like, that guy just doesn't give a fuck. At the end of the day, you're the one losing.
Sorry, man. Fuck, man.
Oh, man. What a good night, man.
That was good. It was good. One of the things that we ended on the other podcast, into the clip, when we talked about you, the last word was, you know, like when people like you come up and say things, you know, it's all opinion. You know, everybody has an opinion. Depends how you take it, right? And the best way to take it, for me and for my mates that was on the podcast, and when we talked about it, was you take what you need and leave what you don't need, because no one's gonna agree with everybody all the time. Exactly. You know, and you only take what you think can help. Exactly. And leave what you think won't.
And if the shoe fits, wear it.
Exactly.
But if it doesn't, scroll on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're getting mad, then fuck, you just scroll on. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I always say. But if it offends you, then that means it's true. And no matter what you say, somebody will always find fault. You donate $1 million to charity, why wasn't it 2? You read 2 scriptures in the Bible, why didn't you read the whole Bible? So somebody will always find fault. So that's why I've just gone to the point, whatever people say about me, it's true. It's true to you. If somebody says, oh, Stephen, didn't you cheat on this girl, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, if that's what you believe, man, then it's true. Or, but aren't you going to defend it? No, why? Or why? Because that's your mind. But I had one person in the life goes, why are you not defending any accusations? And the whole time he was like, you're a woman beating a woman beating a woman. He was saying that continuously. And then I said, okay, yeah, I am. if that's what you believe, I am that to you. And then he goes like this, nah, why don't you explain it then? I was like, what? That's why I said that a lot of these guys are confused themselves, and it just makes no sense. But also, I'm saying you need to get me on another podcast, man. You need it. But I want to come and empty out the clip. I need to come on one. Whenever you're free, man, let me come on, man. It's gonna be insane. So how is this gonna work? Is it gonna get uploaded? Like, how many days does it get uploaded?
Oh, I'll do the audio first, probably tonight or tomorrow, and then the video will come later on. So it takes time.
I guess my question for you also is, without being biased, how did this podcast? How did this podcast go for you? Like, in terms of this conversation that we've had, plus the first one. Like, what are your thoughts that you've taken out? What's your conclusion on Stephen Setu? That's a good answer. What is your conclusion on? Because you didn't know anything about me, but now you feel
not
like
really.
Yeah,
All I knew was your stuff on TikTok.
yeah.
That was it.
But now that we've spoken and you sort of see my insights, you sort of see my perspective in life, you sort of kind of know my personality. What is your view on Stephen Setu? What's the conclusion after this 2 to 3 hours talking?
I love the context I got out of this podcast with you. Now I got a little bit of background of where you're coming from, and a lot of it was to do with not really from what you said, but how you delivered it, your energy, and because I never seen anything like that before, especially from I've seen it before, but not from a Samoan guy, and the topics you're talking about, no one's gonna speak on those social issues like that, social issues like you talk about it, like no one. I think people are scared to do it. So that was my first reaction. And so this podcast was a way for me to actually have a chat with you, talk to you, see where you're coming from. Like, because you can't get it with 1 minute, 5-minute chat. You got to get it with like a couple of hours, we talk about stuff, and it's not like I've figured you out. I haven't really, but I know where you're coming from is from the heart. And for our people, you love our people and you want us to thrive and you want us to succeed. You've just got a different way of doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I think the message that if we have to like really come to a conclusion, it would just be love. I just have love for my people, and love comes in any different sort of facets. And I think you could call it tough love if that's what you want to call it, but at the end of the day, the intention is correct. And I'm doing more than those people that just complain behind a screen. The ones that just, like, I said this in one of my video clips, is the people, when I was talking about get the fuck out of your feelings, there were comments from haters saying, what about people's mental health? You don't even take that into consideration. Those same people that comment on that are the same people trying to dig up old videos and old like accusations and screenshots of myself and posting it. And then I'm like, what about my mental health? You can't pick and choose what mental health is. Like, so you're coming against people saying, what about people's mental health? And you're trying to tarnish my mental health. So it just goes to show that mental health, you didn't really give a fuck.
Like, my thoughts on that in the sports perspective?
Yeah.
I get pissed off when athletes throw the mental health card at the fans.
Yeah.
When the fans, hey, it's just a sport.
Yeah.
We're not attacking you personally.
Yeah.
We just want you to fucking win.
That's it.
We're just passionate about our team.
Yeah.
The color on your jersey.
Yeah.
The jersey.
That's it.
What the team is. That's our team. We want our team to win.
That's it.
If you're Gaia that one game, well, fuck, we're gonna hate you.
Yeah.
But the next week, when you win the game, when you're the man, fuck, we're gonna praise you. So why, when athletes say,
it's never personal.
Yeah, it's not personal.
It's never personal.
But sports is obvious.
That's it.
Sports is the obvious thing.
And people act like they didn't grow up in that sort of shit. Like, people act like they didn't grow up, like they get so hot and emotional and pissed off and angry when somebody says, get the fuck out of your feelings. But I'm sure you've heard that from your dad. Sure, you heard that from your fucking brother. Oh, get the fuck up, man. Oh, fuck you, go to sleep.
But that's what we were talking about before. Like, but back in the days, that's how we handled it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to change.
Yeah. And
that's what mainstream is trying to change.
I think mainstream are just making it a lot worse, to be honest. That's just my opinion. I feel like, yes, not everything in the past has to still stay. I believe women should have a right to vote. I believe that women should no longer be oppressed. I believe that they should have equal rights. But I also believe in gender roles. I believe that a man is the provider and the protector. Yes, granted, women can protect themselves and they can provide for themselves, but there are certain situations where they can't protect themselves, and a man needs to do it. I feel like the man has to be the one that goes and opens the door at 2 a.m. if there's a knock on the door. I think the man is the one that has to get out and fix the tire, check the water. I think the man has to take out trash to the front. I think that's the man's job. You could say a woman can do that. Yeah, they could. But I just think that's the man's job.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, but people argue that. They say, no, but we're all the same. And I'm like, okay.
You're trying to not empower women.
Yeah, like, I'll be like this. Well, how would you feel like if a man, so like they would say, oh, we're all the same. And then you'd be like, well, then who pays for the date on your first date? The man. What happened to we're all the same? What happened to equality? Yeah, but he's the man. But I thought we were all the same. And then it go like this, well, then I'll pay for my own self then. Okay, cool. But then what about somebody slapped your ass? Do you expect your boyfriend to do something?
No, what happens is that if they pay,
yeah,
because they want to be equal.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they say, oh, I'll pay.
That's
then
what I'm
you
saying.
let them pay. Then at the back, when they tell their friends, I can't believe you made me pay.
Exactly. I can guarantee you, if a man told the girl on the first date, hey, look, actually, I forgot my wallet. Would you be able to pay for me? I can guarantee you the woman will not pay, or she might pay and not want to talk to this guy ever again. So that's why I say, bro, like all the feminists, they pick and choose when gender roles come into play. They pick and choose it because we're not equal. We're just not. I don't care what anybody says. We are not equal, and it's by biology. It's DNA. It's not just like life upbringing. It's literally DNA. We are different. Do you believe that we are different genetically, males and females, biologically?
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll say, yeah, but females, they say this world is patriotic. It's run by men. They oppressed women. And I said, bro, if we oppressed women, we would have let you guys go to the war and we would have stayed home. How can you say we oppressed you when we fucking went to the war and left you guys at home with the kids inside the warm house and we died in the ditch? How were you oppressed? By the looks of it, we were the ones that were oppressed. That's why I never understand when they say the women were oppressed. And I was like, you guys weren't. If we were oppressed, why were the women and the kids on the safety boats for the Titanic and the men had to stay behind? Why did they go last? Oh, I thought you guys were oppressed. The first safety boats was make sure all the women and the kids get on, and the men just had to wait and die in the fucking cold, steamy water. Like, what happened to oppression then? We're the first, and also as well, the feminists, they speak equal rights. When the war between Ukraine and Russia happened, the President Zelensky made a rule that all men between the age of 16 to 30 stay behind, and 16 and 60 stay behind and fight for their country. All women and kids can leave. Where was the feminist movement there? Where are the feminists saying, hey, nah, it's equal rights. We want to stay and fight and sacrifice where were they? No, they didn't give a fuck. As soon as the president said the men had to stay behind, all that the equality shit came out of the window. They're like, nah, fuck these guys. They can fucking die. We're going.
No, but remember what I said. The factors that came into society that made that happen for women was the invention of the tampon. Because after the tampon got invented, that means women didn't have to be at home; they can be outside and stuff.
That's it.
And then the second one was the condom. Now women had control of having kids or not.
That's it.
And so more women were like career driven now.
Yeah.
They could do careers and be managers and be. So we sort of, because of these two inventions, society sort of empowered women to go that direction. Yeah. So now because of that, I understand, there's going to be a little bit of fight back.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're empowering women so much. Like, they're really, really empowering women, and they're really bringing down men. Like masculinity's dying every single day. That's why as soon as somebody's masculine, it's considered toxic masculinity. But the reason why toxic femininity doesn't exist because a man don't care how feminine their woman is. The feminine, the better. We wouldn't want a masculine man. You know what I mean? Like, we want a feminine woman, an actual woman that's actually in their femininity. That's why toxic femininity doesn't exist, but toxic masculinity exists because as soon as somebody's masculine, this is why I didn't get to. They're like, the traits of masculinity is powerful, dominance, aggression. I hate men that are powerful, dominant, and aggression. But this whole world was built on dominant, powerful, and aggressive men. If it weren't for powerful, dominant, and aggressive men, you guys would be dead right now. They fought for this country that you guys live on. The country that you guys are benefiting from right now, we're gunned down from men that were powerful, aggressive, and dominant. And now you guys are saying, yeah, but I can run my own business. I can do all of this and all of that. Yeah, but who are the people that gave you the opportunity to do that? It was powerful, dominant, aggressive men. So I think people just forget that this whole world's a man's world. It literally is. And I'm not being misogynistic and trying to go against women. It's just the truth. Men run the infrastructure of this world. Who's the ones that's going into the sewage pipes? Who's the ones climbing up all those skyscrapers? Is it women? No, it's men. Men are the one that's climbing up those high 7 foot, 10 fucking feet skyscrapers, going underneath the sewage, going underneath all the shit. Men are doing this. Going into the oil rigs. And then then there will be women like, yeah, but, you know, women can do that job too. And I'm like, well, then where are they? And they always say, yeah, but those jobs only cater for men. The only reason why those jobs cater for men because no women apply for that shit. So you telling me, and they go like this, yeah, but women can do it. Those jobs cater for men. No, those jobs cater for anybody. But it's just that if you're a lady, are you going to apply for an oil rig? Or are you going to apply for a receptionist? Are you going to apply to climb the skyscraper? Men put their lives on danger every single day.
It's the same reason why the health industry are dominated by women.
Yeah.
Because, it comes back to the caring.
Yeah.
The caring sort of thing.
That's it, yeah. And I always say women are better nurturers and they're more like, when I'm sick, I don't want one of my boys to come and fucking hug me in bed. I don't want them to grab a warm nap, like fucking towel and put them in here. Are you okay? That's gay. Like, what the fuck? Like, I would want a female to come and hug me or kiss me in bed. And, they're great nurturers. There are certain roles that fit for certain particular situations and specific genders. I believe that every gender can do the exact same thing, but there are certain genders that will shine in that situation.
The other thing I heard was, or I read, because the women are more, their traits are more to that motherly kind of thing. That's why healthcare is big for women, right? But these kind of jobs are low paid jobs.
Yeah,
like being a teacher is low paid.
That's it. And
nurses are low paid.
Exactly,
job.
and they complain. They complain about saying that there's not equality, that men get paid more than women. And I'm like, the only reason why men get paid more than women is because men do jobs that women don't apply for. So obviously they go, yeah, but men get paid more than women. That's actually illegal. They can't do that. They can't. That's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Pay men more just because they're a guy and pay you less. It's just that women don't like to do jobs that men are willing to do. That's the reason why there's more electrician women, more electrician men, more mechanics that are men, more men that climb the skyscrapers. Whenever you're looking at a big skyscraper building and somebody's wiping the window, do you ever see women going and wiping the windows? It's always a man.
So dangerous jobs.
That's it. All the dangerous jobs. So
more.
So for a woman to sit back and say, yeah, but that's not equality because all the men get those jobs, it's because no woman's applied for that job. I can guarantee you right now, you go and look at the CV applications, all men will be applying for that job.
At the same time, like even with men, especially Polynesian men, they get less than white men. And the reason I saw was because not only it's not like a trait thing, but the other trait is your negotiation skills.
Yeah, exactly.
How much can you stand up for yourself?
Exactly.
Like our culture teaches us to respect our elders.
Yeah.
We'll be humble.
Exactly.
So that can be a detriment to these Balangis when they can take advantage of us because we don't talk back. We don't be trying to be like over the elder person, and we sort of bow down to that kind of stuff.
True.
So we get low pay too because of the way we are.
That's it.
Because we can't stand up for ourselves. We can't say, "Hey man, if you don't give me a fucking same pay, I'm out of here."
And the thing is also as well as Islanders, they're not really confident in their speech, so they're confident to get their point across physically. They could beat you up. But when it comes to terms of negotiating, they get worried. They're like, oh, I'm dumb. I might fall out. The most powerful weapon in the world is learning English. That's the most powerful in the world, weapon in the world. Because you could be lost in Dubai. You could be lost in Russia. You could be lost in Australia. If you can speak English, you're fine. Because English is the most powerful language in the world. Wherever you are, you could be lost in the middle of Antarctica. If you know how to speak English, you are safe because you can always get yourself somewhere. But if you don't know how to speak English and you get thrown in Dubai or thrown in like Russia and you just came straight fresh out of the islands, you're fucked. You wouldn't know how to speak to people. You'll be like, oh, no, dude, God, like you're miming shit. So, I always say this, improve your English. So my auntie and uncles, they came from Samoa and they don't know how to like negotiate. So they will go to work and income and they would be like, we'll call you back. And they'll be like, okay. They went back the next day. We'll give you a call. Okay. And then I remember I said to them, I said, have you found a house yet? Because for housing in New Zealand, they said, no, they said you keep on calling me back. And I said, how many times you went? 10 times. They just said, we'll call you back. And then I said, okay. So we went there. I went with them and they go, so yeah, we'll give you a call back. And then I'll be like, and then I went like this. Yeah, but you said that 10 weeks ago as well. I want to speak to a manager. And then the guy like this, 10 weeks ago, yeah, we've been here about 10 times. You guys keep saying you guys will call us. There's no phone calls. We've been waiting next to the phone. Nothing has come through. And it's getting kind of irritating. We're using our picture to come here to see you guys. I want to talk to the manager. Manager came, they got them the house approved. See, so it's like the power of negotiation in a way. Yeah. But anyways, also, I think we need to come into a wrap close or else we could talk all the way to like 2 in the morning, and it's 11:11. But hey, also, I want to thank you for having me on, but that's a long video you're going to stitch, man.
We've had longer.
Literally? What's the longest you guys had?
Because we had that 100 episode, so that was purposely 5 hours. But we've had average 2.5 hours, 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I've actually watched a 5-hour podcast.
Have you?
Yeah. Crazy. And then I'm starting to get used to it. Joe Rogan's podcast go for ages, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen the podcast? Oh, there was a podcast. Oh, man, I forgot who the person was. But it was the second interview. It wasn't the first interview. He had 2 interviews with him. And it wasn't the first one. It was the second one. Oh, fuck, I forgot the name, but I'll come back to you.
David Goggins.
Yeah, David Goggins.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because he's another guy like you.
Yeah.
He's like outspoken like you too.
Yeah. That was a fucking good one.
Stay hard.
Yeah, that was Stay Hard. That was a really good one. But hey.
No, thanks, Steve.
Sus.
Thanks, brother.
See you.